All right, hello. Bernie's not here. It's just me. How are you going, everyone? Oh, got two people watching us. All right, we might have to wait till some more people come on. We are back to have a chat. Christmas, day, right? It's evening here in Perth, Australia. Just spoke with Sonia. It's the morning there. She's just got up. And what time is it where you are,
Happy
Bernie?
holidays, lovely souls. It is 6:30 a.m. in Western Canada, where I'm
Wow,
joining in from.
6:30.
So,
Holy dolly, so you've been up all night. Wow, okay.
yeah, Santa's got about another hour of darkness before the sun finally rises. So, a
Wow.
couple times through the night, I did hear heavy footsteps upstairs. So, who knows what's
Ooh.
under the tree?
Yeah,
Or tropical plant, the garden plants we have.
tropical plant. It's 25 degrees below zero
Well,
where
that's
you are.
it. The only thing alive, we didn't chop down a tree in tradition or let for to light up. We just have like some hibiscus trees and a couple of
Yeah.
grapefruit trees that are about 30 years old now. But
Oh,
they're
nice.
indoor. Put them outside during the summer. They get the full sun, and then bring them in the window at during the winter. Or yes, that minus
Oh,
25 makes short work of everything, including me, unless I'm wearing 5 layers.
no, I know. I guess I'm silly. Unbelievably too cold. All right, who we got here? Merry Christmas, Sonia, Liza Nord, Flat Earth, Lovell, Kay Stevenson, James,
Many
Breeden.
blessings to everybody, and hopefully the spirit of Christmas has treated you well, wherever
Yeah.
you're joining us in from. When
Hopefully you gave people your presents, not presents. Hi, Paul, Justin, Debbie, Lizzie, Sherry,
or
Liz,
make your
all
present
listening.
the real present under the
Yeah,
tree this
exactly. Give
year.
them your presents, CE, instead of presents, TS. All right.
Hello,
Funny how
Bex.
they distort these words, isn't it, right? Presents and presents. Bex, hello, Jill.
It's all encoding, right?
It is.
It's
It
crazy
is
how
right.
it's structured. And I
It
can only
is.
imagine the original, like Aramaic and Hebrewic languages, where if you watch each letter being spoken through the cymatics, that it's like its own actual full geometric structure, and like to
Yeah.
feel what those words were, how Hebrewics also apparently like alphabetically structured as it breaks down in its like language and stuff, like just so freaking
True.
fascinating.
True. Pure spell. Right now we've just got distorted spells. We don't even know what sounds we're making, how we're talking to the ether, and,
Right, so as it
and
break
that's
that
all we
spell, call it Xmas, because it's marking the celebration of the passing of the solstice into the new year, like the darkest day of the North American side of the coin is in its darkest, and then the opposite side of that flat coin being you over in the south with its longest days, and
do. Yeah,
going into the will be feasting autumns and best days of the year.
yeah. It's weird, isn't it? And all the
It's
time zones and stuff.
fascinating.
It's all very strange where we are.
I encourage everybody to try to take as many pictures geolocated of either the three archway building architecture on the horizon of planets and the moon and the sun's rising in
Yeah,
the coming days whenever you can, as well as the any henges or anything like that, please,
yeah,
because that
yeah.
is the true lost language of the astrology of the ancients that
Mm,
we really should start
exactly.
relearning.
And all the dolmens, they all have it. Lots of windows as well, or little holes in buildings. That the sun will line up and shine through them. It's just everywhere. And I mean, why do you think that is? I used to think it was to track the sun, like to make sure that the sun didn't go out of out of sync, right, out of its course. And if it did, then it wouldn't line up to all these holes in that, and everyone would go, "Oh, something's going on." I don't know. What do you think?
That truly fascinates me, like so much. And like, what's the Russian guy's work with it? Something in the heavens, where it talks about like the plasma reactions between the planets and stuff. Venus going through Saturn being like a dark sun at one point.
Velikovsky?
Yeah, Velikovsky, you got it. Um, and what they currently call Venus, I've been tracking year after year with my own telescope that I have behind me here. And in 2012 or 2014, there was what was called the Parade of Planets, where all of the visible planets were visible along like the horizon at the same time. And I like got documented each planet through my telescope, as well as afterwards this like Planet X thing that I've been calling the Death Star, because it gets like bigger each year, and it's like this giant spinning burning ball of fire. And it's like, is this that Nemesis, that binary star, or that Nibiru, or whatever the heck it is? I don't know. But it's like, from what I've seen, it keeps getting brighter. And like, they used to call it Saturn. They used to call it Jupiter at times on those apps. And now they seem to call it Venus, because it's like it's bright
Really?
at night, and some places
Well,
it's bright in the morning there.
this is the thing. Venus used to be um, the, the evening star. Is that right? Oh God, if I got
Or
that,
the
or is it
morning star. The
it's the
morning
morning
star.
star, isn't it? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So it's the other way. So it used to be and apparently it's not anymore. Now it's
Now it's this
see it in the
evening star
evening.
that's
Yeah.
visible like at 6 p.m. when the sun sets here at its darkest, and it's
How does
brighter
that
than any
work?
airplane on the horizon or anything. It's crazy. I'm
And
gonna, when it
and
warms up a little bit, I'm gonna take my telescope out and we'll get some footage of
yeah,
it.
and you said that they used to try and call it Saturn.
Yeah, literally on the apps, it would say like Saturn or Jupiter during like the parade of planets, and I'd literally show people through my telescope like, what planet is that? They're like, oh no, that's Jupiter over there, and I'm like, oh yeah, and what's that? Oh, that's Saturn there, and then I'd show this other thing that the apps are misidentifying and be like, what the is this thing? Because
All right. I wonder if that's by design because
right, like
like
who knows what
the
it could?
morning
It could be
star.
literally be anything. Literally could be
Yeah,
anything.
yeah. I know. Tell us right. The morning star, from the Bible, is Lucifer, right? There's one passage in the whole Bible that where they mention the word Lucifer, and it's um, what was it? Or how you fell from the heavens in the morning, or something. Some reference to the morning star.
Yeah.
So is that Venus? Because Venus is actually right, the planet of love and all this kind of stuff.
And copper from
And copper.
the
And
alchemical way. And then I've heard rumors that they switched copper and mercury around, and it's like, I don't know, but who
wow.
knows? It's that there's a new age of Aquarius that we've clearly moved into on the ground calendar, through both shown in the what is it, the grand universal plane, that we're now in the densest part going through it. And then it's like uh, Nassim Haramein's put out a lot of work on how it used to be a yellow sun, now it's gone into a white sun. And
Yep.
every 11 years, you'd have this magnetic pole reversal on the sun. And apparently, since 2001, it stopped doing that. And instead, it pulsed and it started to blink a little bit, and it got a little bit bigger. So it went from like this yellow um, reversal yellow sun into this white pulsar. And that then in 2012, 11 years later, again, it didn't do the pole reversal. It just started blinking even more and pulsed a little bit more. So the next test is 2023. We will find out if it does this for a third time. And a lot of children now draw white suns, where I have always drawn a yellow sun or an orange sun, like in my drawings. So, uh, yeah,
Really, children are drawing white suns. That's
yes,
very
yes.
interesting. Have you heard about this comet? The blue comet.
The blue
Um,
Kaliki or something. Okay, I probably
blue
butchered the name. Sorry.
R2 comet. I think they're calling it. Is that what it's called? Yeah, just a blue comet. Like blue Kachina, right?
Yeah, that's the word I was trying to say.
So, where am I? I've lost you. God, I got too many screens up. Let me just share my screen. And I'll
Yeah,
show.
sure. I'm gonna temporarily mute out while I bring the other camera online so I can show those close. But I just gotta mute it so it doesn't do that reverb while I hook it up.
Okay. That one? No, it's not that one. Oh my gosh. This one. All right. Can you guys see this
Yes,
picture?
this is live.
So this
Yeah.
is this blue comet, right?
Wow.
And this, well, the search is for stuff from the last week. So, yeah. Now, when you look at this, right? I don't know if you've seen the Iwa series, but
I need to watch those still.
like if you look at this from a different perspective, that's probably a good one. Imagine this is a firmament, right? And that is a hole. And this is actually light coming through this hole rather than something traveling. And of course, with the movement of the firmament over that gives it movement. But imagine if it's backwards, if
Kind
that's
of
actually
like some
light shining through it.
what is it?
See?
Movies
Hole.
with where he walks into those portals, the demigod dude. Why can't I think of the name right now?
Let's ask our viewers. What movie is it? Which walks into port? Oh, no, I'm thinking
The
of.
really hunky dude. Thor. Yes, Thor.
Oh,
Asgard. The Asgard portal. Kind of looks like that almost in the firmament spinning. Right? That's got the bridge out to it.
well, have you heard this? There's a lot of talk about prophecies about the sky opening.
Right? And so would that
Stuff coming
portal
in.
open up at what is they called the North Star these days or whatever's around that? Because that's where it seems if you take the picture that everything rotates around, or at least where we are from, that's something we should compare that. Apparently it's
Well,
different
maybe.
down south.
Well, is that a consistent hole, the North Star,
Well, of course it moves with the
like like
ages,
a
right?
like
Yeah, it
a
100%
Taurus and
moves with
above
the
the
grand
tree,
ages.
and that'd be
So
where
yeah,
the
with the new
Rainbow
age
Bridge
of
goes
Aquarius,
through.
whatever, it would be a shifting of that theoretically.
And
It's
so a few
one
more
launch
holes, and
every
then it might just
72 years towards
go
it.
boom. Yeah. What was that? And also Venus. Did you know on a flat Earth its transit makes like a flower, like a flower of life
Yeah, if
pattern?
you chart all of them, it's also on like a six-dimensional rotational chart. It does those too, but you're just breaking down from the them orbiting around each other on the 1D disk plane, but it's when they're orbiting around the sun. You have like the moon going around the planets going around the sun going around the center of the center of the galaxy going around the universe. And when you're incorporating all of those movements together and just plotting like a planet with our planet and how it interacts with the sun, it makes all sorts of those different frequencies and higher dimensional shapes and geometries. It's pretty cool. There's a
Mm.
couple channels that do specifically that. They're actually pretty mind blowing. It turns out to be a lot of like the sacred East Indian style mantras.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, see, that's what
Lucas, I can pass you the link in a
mantras,
little
right?
bit, good brother. Luke Lucabus is a amazing artist friend of mine from Kelowna. He does tapestries like the one you have behind you, um, through sublimation, as well as one ridiculously, insanely good live piano player and music artist.
Nice. Nice. Hello, Kappa. How you going, Kapalicious? Sally
Cap, a
Scott.
good friend.
Kappa,
Hopefully, the
yes.
spirit of Christmas treated you good in your Dutch Holland home, old rail chimneyed house, I imagine, but probably not in some more likely pimping nude condo tower freaking.
God.
I
Yes.
don't even know. Start showing us some pictures, Kappa. You're right in the land of the star forts and
Yeah. There's
the
heaps
moat,
around
the
there. I
the
did a
waterways, right? Like that's where we need to start looking into, and it's still the most developed out there. Like
yeah. I wanted
mechanical.
to is it Lithuania? That's sort of right up above.
In the
No,
Baltics
just
there
just
with
just below.
Estonia, Kaliningrad.
Yeah, it's sort of
Yeah,
just below Scandinavia, but it's
yeah,
almost.
just above
But
Scandinavia.
above is it? Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah. That's got a lot of really cool castles and stuff. But and that's the thing with winter, right? And snow and all this. How they build all this stuff with in all these snowy countries.
Oh, it's
I mean,
crazy.
it means
Yeah,
you
it
might.
looks like they were powered though with the stone resonating with the giant chunks of like metal and mercury, and then like with the higher frequency harvesting from like up in the towers and whatnot, that it could easily just have full resistance of your charge going from like a kite or something at the top of your dome down through the fireplace, connecting with those two iron rods, and then the friction between them. That makes perfect sense.
Ah,
Which can be totally
differentials.
for like a chain link, sort of magnetic roped link kite to harvest your electricity, and then between the two balls is where the resistor would be. That would
Mm.
make your perfect heating sense, and then resonating with the stone somehow in that. Like that.
Oh, okay. I see.
Think of like the plasma channel with the drone where he had it like bringing the charge down
Yeah,
from the
yeah, yeah.
atmosphere. So it's like if you had like a kite up in there harvesting that the entire time with like metal strings the entire way through, collecting all of that charge down in, and then connecting it down physically through that encased chimney that has the resistors of those bricks, those battery like structures, and then your encased caps with the roofs of your metals, your copper, your iron roofing, whatnot, and
Mm.
then down into those two solid balls that probably had mercury between them and a giant resistor circuit between the two, with like even that oscillating, where he has the two pop cans and then that oscillating metal ball that just goes between the two, that he had connected to the actual atmospheric drone harvesting. Like just that connected with what we're finding in those old Tartarian castle buildings, that like the mansions and stuff like
I need to
that.
get him one.
I,
I need to
I'm
buy
pretty
one.
sure that that's how that technology would work, and it would be that big of a differential easily
We
between
need a
collecting.
benefactor. We need we need to like find someone who's really rich, and then get them into Tartaria, and then get them to buy a castle that we can just go and just like deconstruct.
Oh yeah.
That would
That
be
we need to
awesome.
just rebuild in the metaverse, and then oh my goodness, the metaverse, the gaming, the things to come.
Just don't get stuck there.
No, no, far too much physical. I got all these amazing clothing pieces. This guy, he glows in the dark.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
this one, this one is kind of call it ticky, but it's pretty funny. And then we have what I call the weed of life. It is the seed of life pattern, but with a little Burntron twist to it.
Very
Uh,
nice.
original Burncron bong design,
That's a.
graffiti style.
Oh, okay. I see it now. Yeah.
Other graffiti bong there. And then and a girl's tank top with that one.
Got
In my
it.
other clothing line, Honor, when I was doing like MMA designer style stuff with tattoo
Wow.
artists.
Nice. Wow. Funky.
Another girl's Weed of Life one.
Nice.
The
You're proud of
Burncron Bear on
that.
girl's
Nice.
female.
Yeah. That's a highlight of the bear.
Since you're Australian, I figured I can give you one of these spaghetti strap for some female that you
Some
somehow know somewhere that
female.
could sport it, as opposed to the minus ridiculous Canada weather that none of
We
this
never get to
clothing
wear
will be seen anyone wearing for 6 months. We have the shrunken head Tiki Burncon design.
it.
Because you are the true north, and they like intentionally, like they mislabeled the poles, right? So
Yep.
on the record label Up North, you can sport Up North as the true north, down under, up top, wherever you
So,
are
yeah.
on this plane of existence. One of my classic Burncron graffiti designs. That's a spy piece.
Nice.
One of my very, very first designs. Actually, this is my very first design. The DC logo as a BC, and instead of a star, it's a weed leaf, and you have Burncon exports in Canada, and
Very
then one more glowy dude.
nice. Awesome.
And
Wow.
just because I love you and you're an inspiration to us all being autodidactic, I'll give you the one of a kind design called Inspirations. That hoodie for if it takes 6 months to get over there, because who knows these days. You got
Wow.
some Che, some Bob Marley, some Tesla, some Dalai Lama, some Nelson Mandela there too in the corner, and other side, and Edward Snowden.
Nice. Wow. Awesome. So have you got a shop with all this stuff in it as well, Burn?
I've had many clothing stores. I'd usually just be part of a traveling caravan each spring, summer, and autumn, going with the
Caravan.
music festivals, vending my clothing and different other artists, and helping co-host and organize and all of that awesomeness
Mm.
until the
Which
lockdown.
we're going to have to bring back this year.
One
More
million
festivals.
percent.
I think it's going to have to be 2022, the year of the festival. We definitely need to gather again, start raising the
100%.
vibes.
Starting
Mm.
in Dubai with the moon, I swear.
Starting in Dubai. We're going to Dubai, guys.
All right, so Campbell, before we're done, I will have to get your mailing address, and we will send you
Yes.
this. And
Thank
when
you.
it arrives, we can start doing a couple giveaways too, right? If it's like the winners in your continent, you can send one. The winners in
Yeah.
my continent, I could send one.
So there you go, guys. When they get here to Australia, we might have some giveaways if you want a Burn original. And of course, I think the next T-shirt has to be Burn Cron slays Omicron.
And many blessings to every single one of you lovely souls joining us live or watching us after. May
Yes,
the holidays treat you well.
indeed. Welcome, Blondie, Locks. Welcome, Callum, Ed. How you going? Stephanie Martin. And of course, good to have the Locks. We went through this earlier. Hair is good. Long hair is better. And of course, Bernie, thank you for calling a caravan and not a trailer? We had a bit of a discussion about that before
I
as
was
well.
watching that. So a
And
trailer
the
is
confusion.
anything that you haul or pull behind a vehicle.
So are you saying
What
that
we
that
call a
includes a
caravan, we
caravan?
call an RV, mobile home or motor home
But
or RV camper.
so are they like things that you tow
Those are all
behind you?
things you drive yourself or you host on
Because
the
an
back of a
RV,
truck. And
yeah.
then the trailer RV is one you pull behind you. And then there's
Oh,
types of that like the pop-up
trailer
tent
RV.
ride or like the silver trailers or like the
Okay.
full fifth
So
wheel trailers.
and so what do you call caravans though as a specific
So the
type of
only
trailer
like active usage of the term caravan, other than like
for
one
camel?
RV unit company's brand name, here is a traveling group of like
Camels
carnies,
or camel
gypsies,
cart.
or
Yeah,
like traveling people. And the
yeah. Right.
irony is that in North America, literally the carney caravan is the Conklin Carnival for like so many years, and it's a Americanized version of my Conklin last name, and
Yeah,
they
yeah.
run the amusement parks of like Western North America and the traveling carnival circuit each year
Wow.
for like I think 80 plus years or something.
So I wonder why we call them caravans because it's interesting that we call them caravans. I don't.
It's
That
ironic.
sounds
So
like no one
I'm
else
part of a
does.
traveling caravan each year when
Yeah,
we're
and
all
you don't
attending
call
all
it
of
a
the
car.
music festivals. Literally, there's a group of us like going to each festival
Yeah.
where one Conklin to a Conklin, part of the freaking caravan each year.
Indeed. But did you know as well that Australia has the largest population of wild camels?
No, I kind of heard you guys go into that, but I didn't. Right there, definitely Egyptians brought them there on the loose.
So
Like they are not
caravans,
a
right? Is that
marsupial
where
of
we got
any
the
type,
word?
right? Or are they
So
marsupial? They're not marsupials, are they?
no, they're
No.
mammals. Yeah, marsupials have pouches.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they've got no pouches.
So and the story for camels in Australia is they brought like a breeding pair over, but only one of them survived, only the male. And then, and then they don't tell you the story, and then it's like, and 20 years later there was 1 million camels, and it's like, how does that work?
I
So I think
am
they might have
Gypsy
already been
Queen. I mean King. I am sorry.
here. It's just and horses. Well, actually, there's that map from the 1500s. I think it's Portuguese map, and it shows Australia with horses and
Oh,
camels.
there's just so many. We should try to get Michael Cremo to come on with all of his examples of OO parts, because like
I was thinking of doing an OPAR video. Is how old's Michael now? Is he still around?
he's still around, so we should actually
Wow.
approach him as soon as possible because he's an
Yeah,
expert. Like
yeah.
he has like documented and like taken and shut down so much more mainstream ridicule than anyone in this
Mm,
community or field over
yeah,
like
definitely.
the
He was one of the
generations.
early
And
ones that yeah put up with all the crap.
like
But,
we should
yeah,
give that guy a round of applause and have him on a stream because like the evidence of the videos he will produce will blow us away, I'm sure. Of like, oh yeah, here's the missing Tartarian link here, or the what's all of those golden Siberian spirals, all of the
stupas,
um,
like the stupas, no?
no,
Oh,
those
the microscopic
solenoid.
little
Yeah,
spring.
the gold microscopic
Yeah, yeah.
solenoid.
Oh, I've forgotten what they're called. There's so much. There's the balls, those little balls, that they find everywhere. And they've got like a ring in them. They look like
We
mini
need
Death
to
Stars.
see if we can somehow like fund some remote drone aerial footage of like some of these mapped ancient spots like in Siberia and throughout ancient Tartaria
Yeah,
to go
that's
in and
that's
see like
what's
Most of the
there.
time there's
Oh,
like pyramids or like just all these freaking ruins or blast craters or
mm.
completely structured entire continent coastlines that need to be just a little bit
I
investigated
was thinking
and
about that.
documented, you know?
You can do map overlays on Google Earth, so you can literally get an old map and superimpose it over
Oh,
what's there
so many
now.
areas are sunk too in the north. It's so crazy when you do that. It's nuts. Freaking nuts.
And yeah, that'd be a good way of like getting an old map from the 1500s with all the cities everywhere and just see
Right?
what's not there now, and then go and check that out and see if you can find the ruins.
Oh, we should pull up some
We, we
Olaf
need
Berker to go over even
like
that Tartaria
what's
wall one right now.
like we need to when the government topples. I think we've only got a few more minutes to go. Um, yeah, imagine doing like a world, like remember World
Thing
Safari?
is
Do you
I've
remember
heard
World
that one.
Safari? Did you guys get that? Albie Mangles?
What? Old World so no.
World Safari. Did you ever get that? But you're probably too young. Albie Mangles. Come on, old people in the chat. Remember one? And he basically um, just left, and he just left and went around the world with a video camera, and came back with all this footage and turned it into a doco. And he made millions out of it, and then he ended up having a series. And we could do that. Just travel the world, just documenting all the ancient spots. It'd be awesome. Can you hear me?
Alright, I opened up
Running?
2 Olaf videos for our Christmas special. One is the ancient Slavic calendar, over 7,000 years of lost history, and video documents of their 7,500-year-old calendar in Russia and the Slavic areas.
Nice.
And the other is uh, his what he calls another mega wall in Ukraine, but it's part of the what I've dubbed the Great Wall of Tartaria, that literally spans from the Black Sea coast
Mm,
of Ukraine across all of Ukraine, across Donbass, which is like that separated part of Russia, then across all of Siberia up to what on the old maps is called the Sea of Tartaria, or the northern Arctic Sea today of Russia, and it's
cool.
it's
So
see each one of those stars is a
this is the Sverker. What's his name?
yeah,
It's
Olaf the Sverker.
Olaf the
I hope
Sverker.
he's doing well. Many
Yeah,
blessings to you,
yeah, yeah.
Olaf,
If you're out
and
there,
please
Olaf, you see
resurface
this,
because
make another
he
video.
hasn't been around for a good 4
Mm,
5 months now.
yeah, it's been a little while. All right. Just before we do, have you sharing screen? I was going to show you. Has everyone seen like the
Okay,
Christmas present that Joe Biden gave us?
sorry, let you.
Have you seen the Christmas present from Joe Biden
Oh
yet?
no, I have not.
You haven't?
Please do bless us with it.
Let me take this. All right. This will only take a minute. Oh my God! If I can work out what screen I'm on. Okay, share screen. Share screen. Okay, so the leader of the free world, right? If I can find it. Where is it? Where are you? Ah, that's not. Oh my God! Now I can't find the right screen. YouTube. Is that it? No. Oh gosh, where is it? Okay, oh, hang on. I think I know what to do. That one. Okay. No. Can you see this?
Yes, I can.
All right, let's go, Joe. This is live as well. Their Christmas, they did like Christmas call-ins, and they took live calls, live on air.
I agree with Lisa.
Yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful Christmas as well. Merry Christmas, and let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon. I agree.
He said it. He said it.
That is
He
hilarious.
agrees.
Oh my goodness.
I hope you
Let's
have a
go,
wonderful.
Brandon Joe.
Yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful Christmas as well. Merry Christmas, and let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon. I agree.
There you go. I love that. That's
That
Christmas
is
present.
amazing. That is
Um,
amazing.
they actually made Joe say it himself. That's meme lordship. And the
That
dude who
really
called
is.
in, he like recorded it all and got all the good audio, and it was a full on setup. It was
Right?
just there you go.
100%. That's amazing.
The best
Amazing.
is Joe
Merry
is just
Christmas to all in the know of Mr.
exactly. So
Joe.
if you didn't get a present, there's a present from the president who's not quite present.
Exactly. Amazing. And now for some third eye mind blowingness, we will
Let's
start with Olaf the Smirker. Give him a like, give him a sub, inspire him to go.
yeah,
So
let's all go over and give him a like and sub, and hopefully he'll go, oh, something's happened with my channel. I've got to make another video.
So every star just on this little section that he goes through on Google Earth here through Ukraine, and it connects through all of here to the Baltic Sea, and he goes through another episode, and there's literally more than this along there, and then another episode goes up into Russia, and then into all across Siberia and upwards. So it's like every kilometer or two, there is a star fort along this great wall of undocumentedness, but where World War seems to forever exist and divide the two east and west.
Yep, and Kappa, as always, doing his amazing job, has just posted the link to Olaf's channel.
Some Ukrainian Star Force now.
I'm
I may as well get through
sorry.
these whilst I have some time.
That's
The
as
kids
loud as it
staying
goes
with
for
my mum,
me.
so I have a wee bit of free time in my hands. And this thing
Alright.
there, like I said, when you and I
So I'm going to get a
walk
coffee.
away in this defensive line this time. Once again, I've not planned this video in the slightest. However,
Can you guys hear it somewhat?
A fair few interesting things. To start off, we'll just jump along here. Not quite on the defensive line, but we may as well get it out of the way. We can see the vague remains of an ancient star fort that again has been more or less flattened by this point in time. With what a
Yeah, I think it's all right.
new American president has engineered in Ukraine at the moment, perhaps the beginnings of another world war. This might be the last time we get to see, or these star forts might be a bit worse for wear by the time he's got through with what he's got planned. And again here, we can see yet another massive star fort on this coastline. Just about make out petal 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. A massive star fort. Again, I didn't need to mention the level of effort that would have to be undertaken to create these structures, and I don't believe I need to talk about how unnatural this area here looks. I think I've spoke about enough bombardments and blasts, so I'll leave your imagination up to work out what created this scenery. Did we start off here? We'll look at this one. Again, a more or less fairly flattened star fort by this point, but we'll get back to this defensive line quickly. As you can see, they clearly form a cohesive line. Or, when I say a defensive line, it could just as well be an energy line, like reminiscent of how we stagger modern day power lines and pylons out. So we'll start here at point 361. And today there is barely nothing that we can see. However, if we have a look at some of the old photos, we can see that clearly marked as a star fort. You can just about make out the petal in these photos. The petals being here. Like I said, whoever arranged for these star forts to be destroyed has went into great effort into actually destroying them, with a lot of them being completely levelled. Point 281, and we have, again, barely obvious that that's the remains of a fortress, but
Easy, Tiger. How you
from an energy
doing? Merry
perspective, you would need to
Christmas.
transfer it across
Happy
the water.
holidays,
And what better way
legend.
to do
Paul
it than to have a
Cook
receiving
in the
and receiving
house.
station on either end.
Can I email
Off we go up
you
here and see
or
what we
send you
find.
the link on
Jump here
Signal, good Paul, to join in? Everyone, I'm sure,
And
would
hopefully this
love to see you
is no sign of what's to
and
come in this
wish
video
you
because there is
a
not much
happy
there.
holiday.
And that is a field. What is it saying? A star fort used to exist in this area has been turned into a field. Like I said, I've not looked at this, a lot of the points on this map in sometimes years, so it's as surprising to me as it is to you what we're going to find. I think that's a more honest way of doing this. The more interesting areas I have planned videos on, I have done a fair bit more research into, but a lot of these are just some oddities on the map that I've found. A couple of regular circles, but we're back to looking at what looks like another giant wall. Exactly in the same style as the previous giant wall that we looked at. How vast would this star fort have to have been? And you can see the petals extend even to here. There is another. Now again, in the last video this wall covered hundreds upon hundreds of miles. And I don't know if you can wrap your head around the level of effort that would have to be undertaken to create these structures. How much earth would need to be moved? And again, you can see that even though it's been built over, you can still see the vague outline of this giant wall. But like I said, we'll work our way up and see what we find.
Olaf's talking about the terraforming and the amount of equipment needed.
If you love your job and you're excited to wait until you're 65 to start enjoying your life, spending time with your family, and building wealth,
Then go ahead.
Savage YouTube ads.
Sorry about that.
So, Paul,
I hit the
I'm
pause button
emailing you
and
the
never even
link.
realised.
Feel free to
It
join in,
is
brother.
already 20 past 1 in the
Everybody
morning, and it was up
would
at
love to see a
5:30,
legend on.
so I'm fairly tired, but
Well,
for as
it's
long
been
as it
too
makes sense,
long.
you
Don't
try to
make
pump these
me
videos out whilst
like
I've got the time.
replay our first interview because that's
Because you
all I
can
have of
guarantee,
us.
as soon as the kid's back tomorrow, I will be back to play Mr. Incredible, and my time will be limited again. So here we have, I'm sure some of these points I've moved because I wouldn't have marked these on the map for no reason, but nonetheless, we'll jump to the next one. Like I said, there's little to no planning goes into these videos. I pick an area that has some interesting points and I just jump straight in. If we move on up, we can see the vague, very, very, very vague outline of another star fort. And if we look at the photos, we're seeing it on plans, but we're not really seeing it on this aerial view. Unless, I'm sure there is more interesting ones along the way. In the middle of the field, another massive 4-pointed star fort. I actually fairly surprised that we spotted another one of the giant walls. I forgot that was there. Oh shit. And keeping on with the direction of this line, we can see another 4-pointed star fort. Again, in close proximity to the water, and again in close
Paul,
proximity to
if
these
you're able
craters.
to come on, the invite is in your mailbox. Either way, many blessings. May the new year be even better than this Christmas. Love you, brother.
If this loads, you can just about, like I say, just about make out the outline of this star fort again. So the plan is with these videos, like I've said previously, is to let you guys get a rough idea of where to have a peek for yourself. Because when I do it, I find oddity after oddity after oddity. Like I said with the walls, in the wall that I found in this video, there is plenty to find if you have enough eyes looking at it. Hopefully this video does to carry along this theme with completely flattened star forts. At least we had the wall in the beginning. If it does If we zoom along, there it is in the middle of the field again, another 4-pointed star fort with some odd mound grown on it. I don't know if you can make it petal 1, 2, 3, and 4. It was the wrong picture that's loaded up there entirely. So we'll follow this line on. And we can just about, I've said it before, trees absolutely love growing on these star forts. We can just about make it this petal and that petal. It looks like this was perhaps a 6-pointed star fort at the time. The peculiarity with this one is it's quite a distance away from the water. And what I have found when looking at these star forts is there's often a smaller star fort that points towards the larger star fort. So I believe we're probably looking at this smaller star fort in this case, with the larger one being flattened. So I've bought another mic. Hopefully the audio quality is slightly better. If not, I'll keep buying mics until we get there. Probably a small one of these side structures, a small Jesus.
Sorry, I'm gonna pause this one, and the link has already been posted by Kappa.
You know what I mean?
Because it's just a little bit boring of going through Google Earth and whatnot, as opposed to this short and sweet one he did of the 7,500-year-old Slavic calendar.
We are going to be talking about the ancient Slavic calendar.
It's just fascinating.
There are many calendar systems in use in the world today, and there are even more if we go further back in time. In the West, we use what is known as the Gregorian calendar, which in 1582 replaced the Julian calendar.
The Julian calendar had been in place since the times of Julius Caesar, and he put that calendar into effect in 46 BC. The Chinese use a different calendar, and on their calendar it is currently the year 4717. And this associates, as we know, a different year with different animals and different elements. The year in which these calendars place us in has a massive degree of variance depending on which one we use. So the Jewish calendar puts the year at 5781, for example, and the Indian calendar places the date exactly 57.6 years ahead of us on a Gregorian calendar. Now, these calendars are more or less fairly well known, and when we think of ancient calendars, we usually think of the Mayan calendar, which, as you know, was supposed to chronicle the end of days in 2012, and I'm sure we know how that went. But in 1944, scientists made the discovery of a far older and a far more accurate calendar, even when compared to our own interpretation of the modern date and time. And the calendar I'm talking about is the Slavic Aryan Vedic calendar, which places the current year at 7,529 from the creation of the Star Temple, from the creation of the world in the Star Temple.
I'm getting us our own little jingles like this made, by the way.
Now,
I've been exactly where you've been.
Yeah.
Where you just
Now, the full date as of recording this video, as far as the Slavic Aryan calendar is concerned, the full date is the year 7,529 and the 9th summer in the circle of life on the 35th daylet of the month, which is known as Tritanic. This calendar was in use throughout Russia and Eurasia until Peter I, I refuse to call him Peter the Great, had a reform, and he converted the entire country to Christianity, and as such changed the date to be counted from the birth of Christ as opposed to the creation of the world in the Star Temple. Now, there's very little written about this in modern times. However, if you go to the Peter I Wikipedia page, you can see here, in 1699, Peter changed the date of the celebration of the New Year from the 1st of September to the 1st of January. Traditionally, years were reckoned from the purported creation of the world, and after Peter's reform, they were counted from the birth of Christ. Thus, in the year 7270 of the Old Russian calendar, Peter proclaimed that the Julian calendar was in effect, and the year was 1700. Now, although we knew about the existence of this calendar because of Peter's reform, there was very little written documents until in the 1940s scientists begun the translation of these documents here, the Slavic Aryan Vedas, which were golden tablets that needed translation into Russian. They've still not been translated into English, and as today, only one of them has actually been translated into Russian. Now, as we can see here, there were still some accounts of the true date. In fact, there was a few, despite the censors going about and destroying any evidence of this calendar having ever existed. One of the best ways of controlling a people is to take away their history, and one of the best ways to take away their history is to deny their most significant event, and it's usually a significant event that these calendars start their count from. This extremely complex and accurate calendar requires no adjustment for leap years and runs in perfect cycles. This calendar shows that not only the history of the Slav people extends back far further than what mainstream historians would tell us, including their written language, but also speaks volumes for the development of these people, as any calendar requires the usage of written records and observation of celestial events. For the calendar to have reached the date of 7,208 before changing, it shows that the people remained unified for this entire time under one empire, and that the same calendar was used throughout. Here we can see a monument where the date is written as 7,162. So you can see that even after this reform, not everybody followed under the new calendar. Now, I am not getting into the etymology of words because I'm sure there is many people that study Latin that would argue with me. However, the name for this calendar as we know it is Calyadi Dar, which when translated means the gift of Kolyada. Kolyada being the person that designed this calendar in the first place. Now, this sounds not only extremely like the modern day word of calendar, but so do many Indo-European words when looked at from an etymological perspective. And without going into it here, I believe that this gives us a true hint to the root of many of our modern languages today. This is the Nikolsky Cemetery in St. Petersburg, and again you can see the date written, although it's not very clear, 7,180. You name a single other race, a single other people, a single other country, nation, whatever you want to call it, empire on the face of this planet that has a history, a written, recorded history, stretching back nearly 7,500 years. It's the oldest calendar that exists on the face of this earth, and it makes the Mayan calendar look like a baby. So going back to the date in which this calendar begins, this will require a video on itself, but I kind of just throw it out there without explaining it. The creation of the world and the Star Temple. We must ask ourselves what this means. What event could have been so significant to the people at the time that they began a new calendar? They started a count from that date and stuck with it for over 7,200 years until the calendar, along with their history, was stolen out from underneath them. The creation of the world was nothing. The creation of the world and the Star Temple was nothing more than the conclusion of a millennia-old war and the signing of a peace treaty between the two nations involved. The ancient Slavic Aryan Empire, which we know under its most modern name of Great Tartaria, and Cathay, or ancient Aramea, which we now know as China. This is the Alexander Cemetery in St. Petersburg, and again, if you look closely, if I've not lost it, where are we? There is a date in here somewhere. I can't see it, I'll show you here. 7,188. So back to the creation of the world and the Star Temple. Asura, the Prince of Resenya as it was known at the time, we still speak about Asura today. However, we know him as the Hindu deity Hanuman. He ruled in Belvodai, and Aramean, the ruler of Aramea or ancient China, created peace. That is, they concluded a peace treaty between the Great Race and the Great Dragon, according to which the defeated Arameans built a wall. This wall we know today as the Great Wall of China. The wall at the time, however, was called Kitai, which when translated means key, great, and Tai wall. And this also explains how on all these ancient maps we see China referred to as Cathay or Kithai. It was a high fence or fortress wall. China at the time was known as the Great Wall or the Great Fence. The Kitai Gorod in Moscow, for example, is not named because of any Chinese connection. It's named because of the Great Wall that surrounds it, the High Wall. You can see here there are numerous examples of this day extending further. This is the Orthodox Cemetery in St. Petersburg again, 7,388.
Let's Glow. Glow has over 5,000 on-demand and live wellness classes for those who seek stillness, for those looking to get grounded, for creativity, closer connections, and more meaningful moments, for confidence, battling burnout, and strength. For all ages, life stages, and all places, there's Glow. Transform your total self. No equipment necessary. Visit glow.com to start your 7-day free trial.
If you want to lead something, start by saying, this is what I care about. This is what I want to do and why I think you should care about it and you should want to help. Hardly a day goes by that I don't think how fast my life has flown. How I remember as if it were yesterday, the first day I became president. Hardly anything worth doing can be done alone. This is a particularly orienting time for billions of people in the world. You've got major uncertainties about what's going to happen in the years ahead. At a time like that, you really need good leadership skills. And you need people whose goal it is to pull people together.
Oh, there's a shame. That's not good.
Apart. People need to feel the potential to create a better tomorrow.
I need to feel you, Bill. Oh my God, I wish I could skip this,
guys. Is unlike anything I've ever done. I'll be teaching skills I developed and used in very challenging leadership positions. And I hope that those skills will help you in your personal and professional lives.
Bernie,
we're
losing our audience. Bill Clinton
may not even like us. And how to mediate
God,
conflict.
what have I done?
I don't believe being nice is inconsistent with being tough. You got to be tough as nails.
Which you all have to read that.
Thank you.
And a cigar.
The symbol for this.
You sent us to the pits of hell.
May that not have traumatized an image of Monica.
Okay, guys. Crisis averted.
It was pinched and stolen for the pagans, pinched and stolen for the people that came before them. And this symbol, that the victory over Cathay, is the symbol of St. George. It's a white knight on horseback striking down at a dragon with a spear. This is Arcus Einhard. He's drawn from the 17th century, and what's that in the top left corner but a griffin? And again, I'm sure you all remember the symbol of the Chinese flag. The Chinese animal was a dragon. I'll show you it right now. This right here is the same dragon that St. George struck down. I don't think any of us believe they actually fought a dragon. I think it's far more likely that it was metaphorical, and that metaphor being they struck down. Now, these are the Slavic Aryan Vedas that I was talking about, and I have a copy of one of the translations here, but if you don't speak or read Russian, then I can only wish you good luck, because there is no English translation. And like I said, the Russian translation, only part of it has been translated.
Merry Christmas, Truth Unveiled. May you have a blessed day.
In the early 40s and translated.
Oh, wow. Are these Slavic golded records? This is next level. And Olaf, he's half Scottish, as you can tell, raised in Scotland, but Russian, so he reads it all.
And we can see that he is a black knight on white horseback striking down a dragon, a black dragon, which was what the river of the Black Dragon, which was the name of the river that ran through Manchuria back in the day. This is the fresco of Anga Church in Gotland, Sweden, 15th century, and you can see the same image. However, there's clearly something that they wanted to hide in this panel because it has been erased. It's not water damaged. You can see it's quite a specific area that they have deleted, and I wonder why. This is the 4th century, far before any other depiction of St. George appeared, so we know that this story of St. George is not the true one, and this is Horus impaling Set. We have another one of St. George, this time from the 11th century, and this time it is not a dragon that he is impaling, but a person. So again, I think it's quite safe to assume that the story of St. George impaling the dragon and killing it was metaphorical and used to represent the destruction of the Chinese empire, as the black dragon was the the symbol of the Chinese Empire. Again, a Roman carving for the 4th or the 5th century, and this time he is striking down a person. And the same again here in a 10th century carving in a Georgian church. So going by the date of this calendar alone, it is safe to assume that this is the oldest calendar in the history of mankind, and as a result, the oldest empire, because you can't have a calendar without a single unified people following it. You can't have a calendar without written records for that entire time. And again, if there was a new empire, as was shown quite easily when Peter I took over, they changed the calendar in order to destroy the true history of the people. Despite this being the oldest calendar in the history of the world, mainstream historians are eerily quiet about it, and many people in the West didn't even know that this calendar existed. Again, 7,391 they're putting the data there, and it blows my mind to think that there is a written history this far back. Or there was a written history before it was destroyed, because obviously for a calendar to have extended as far as 7,000 years, there needs to be written records, and we do not have what I would say is 7,000 years worth of written records. But again, like I said, the start of any calendar marks an important event in the history of the people that use it. And the first step of destroying and removing any memory of this significant event is to destroy the calendar that the people use.
Richie, I just need like the first 3 letters in your email so it will bring it up. I just couldn't find it because I'm stoned and it's Christmas.
People, and as such, the oldest empire in the world. This is a book from 1914 called The Chronicles of War, and you can see that even in 1914 they had to still
start by calling it Xmas, and I encourage everybody, if you're going to tell your children that something brings them gifts, call it the spirit of Christmas. Don't false idolize with the lie of a Santa Claus caricature that will then eventually lead to the traumatization of the breaking of the bond of trust from the child to the parent when they find out that their most sacred of trust of their parents could actually lie to them on something so intense. Richie, you can join from your cell phone, my friend.
Now this is the Temuta Raken stone. Sorry, I got that one wrong.
No moving constantly with headphones is the only
Temuta Raken stone, and the inscription itself reads, if I can show you, the text of the inscription reads, of the indication Prince Gleb, in the year 6776, Prince Gleb measured the sea on the ice from Temuta Raken to Korchev, 10,000 and 4,000 fathoms, 6,576. So this isn't a made-up calendar. This is a calendar that has existed far longer than any calendar we use today. Here's another book that I've shown you guys before, and what is the date there? That is 7,156.
You can make contact with these civilizations and you do not need the government. Look at the evidence. It's happening now.
It appears to have some anomalies.
The father was not.
Is that Mulder? Where's Scully?
This is the Godunov Tombs. And you can see that, look at this building.
Sorry, I finger slipped on that.
The Tartarian architecture we see.
The voice change was actually, I think, Nassim started speaking.
It stood tall and proud with an antenna on the roof. But what?
What?
Sorry, Richard, I didn't mean to be blasting your email.
So guys, I just thought I'd do a wee quick video on the Slavic Aryan calendar. This will require a part 2. This is an extremely complicated calendar. It's an extremely complicated system, but also a perfect one.
Challenge, Olaf. 2022, it's time to do part 2, baby.
The day is split up into 16 hours, each at 1.5 of our modern day hours long. Do
you think that's a mud flutter?
But again, like I said, I'll do another video on the specific ins and outs of this calendar. I just wanted to do a quick video to make everybody aware that this calendar existed in the first place, because for a long time I was not aware. And like I say, you're more than welcome to try and download. You can get a copy of the Slavic Area Invaders online, but if you don't speak or read Russian, it's almost impossible.
So that's
There
a
are people that are
minimum
willing to
2
translate for the
stories
fee,
deep below
but I ain't
that,
willing to do
right
that.
there, just showing like a foot of the
I'm
roof.
working on a translation myself, but it is painstaking. It is incredibly slow, and even getting access to the source material is almost impossible. I've only got wee dribs and drabs here and there. But I hope you found this interesting. I hope this prompted you to go and look into this yourself, because, like I said, there is some examples out there that we can use to form a basis that this calendar was used. It blows my mind to think that for 7,000 years there was a unified history, a unified people, because how else would they have followed the same calendar? And then as soon as that people were conquered, the calendar was changed. And as we see with Peter the First, they changed the religion of the nation completely and the calendar. And that serves no other purpose than to destroy and alter, obfuscate, muddy the waters, and to deliberately cover up the history of that people. Because if we knew our history, we would be far more powerful. Until the next video, guys, peace.
Thank you, Olaf. And yeah, Kappa has posted the link for that channel a few times in the chat. So if you can't see it, just scroll up. It'll be there. Go across, subscribe, give him a like, and leave a comment saying, Olaf,
And
we miss you.
If you need a Christmas present, let Olaf's content be that, because it's hours and hours of amazing Russian, Scottish perspective on the Tartarian investigation topic. And he's got so much great content. And let you finish what you were saying, Campbell, of inspiring others to give him that present back.
Yes, just go there and leave a comment. We miss you. But yeah, I mean, interesting lineage, right? Half Tartarian, half Scottish, right? Right?
Right, exactly. So he's got like
two
the Celtic.
epicenters.
And so here's something else that I was spellbinding in words is around the First World War. What they did is they took the word Tartarian and they split it in two and bastardized it with tar and Aryan. And it's been the Aryan enemy and that dirty tar ever since. And thus the Tartarian has been. And if you look into lots of the Aryan sort of East Indian Persian roots of it, and the red-haired six-toed pyramid buried mummies and all of that across all of Southeast Asia and whatnot, and everything that's your Tartarian. But then they also try to call it, is it Scythian or something like that? Or
so yeah, Scythian, Scythian is sort of the what the mainstream sort of calls the Tartarian Empire or whatever that was. There's also, of course, you know, the Aurea Linda book, right? The story of us whiteys, pretty much. It's really the only sort of history book we have, and that goes back. I'm going to have a look at and check out the dates. Because I think it is about 7,000 years.
Another thing that people have to realize is like if you look 1,000 years back throughout European maps, it's all like Celtic-ish, and then we're taught that the new Empire of Rome was getting rid of these pagans, but really it was the original Celtic Tartarian. And once that was conquered, and then there was the constant rebellions away from that new Roman Empire throughout as well. And they started by genociding that population first and conquering it first. And that it's that like North America, South America, it was conquered. It wasn't necessarily even like found in ruins. It's that they took it down into ruins. And then they probably rebelled. They probably crushed new areas. Something else happened. And there was a major reset, probably the 400 or 500 years or something like that, that put on the new Empire of Rome or put them on their course to whatnot. But like even in China, the writings of the Oriental Tartarian, but Peace and War, that epic
Lao Tzu.
novel. Yeah, that there's a Roman general influence and co-author to it, and it was the Jesuit general that was based in Beijing at the time of that writing of that book. So
Nice.
the way history is, and the fact that it's like, if you look at Beijing, like the star city that it was, like the maps of it 400 years ago. Can you bring up some of those right now? Like that. The closest thing you can think of is like Holland, and how there are these water cities, or in Italy still the one that's floating, that's a handshake. Venice. Wow, why could I not think of that sooner? And that there shows that only, well, whenever all of these maps are actually from, whether it's the J in front of it or what time frame, whatever actual epoch era that these are, it was a global civilization based on these canals and star forts.
Sure was. I'm just going to have a look. And of course, as far as America, we have like the Vikings. You know, they tell us the Vikings were there in the 1000s now, pretty much. And I mean, that's, you know, Vikings, right?
The exact same time, right? Like,
yeah, exactly right. It's
non-stop.
And so, and as far as Rome, it's reversed again. They say, you know, Rome was the first, and it all went out from there. But Rome was the last to be built out. I think it's all backwards.
The one South Park episode where it's like Rome opens up and there's like these like spider alien thingies that crawl out that were like calling the shots. It's like, yeah, that's probably like the closest guess so so you know, like,
yeah.
What is in those catacombs below?
Beijing, where are you? Hang on, let me see if I can just find it in a search. I got too many files, man. Too many files.
Happy holidays.
What else was
all
I going?
Beautiful souls and community.
I was going to say something.
I'm pretty sure I emailed you the link, 00.
Oh, here we go. Oh, that's not it. That's kind of it. Bloody Alarmy and their watermarks, man.
Oh my.
And they're even the small crappy ones. What's that?
I'm gonna get on making some Google slides.
Oh, okay. Oh, what's going on? We got videos playing.
That's for next week. I'm making some oh gosh. Google slides.
Did you? What was that? Did you just?
I don't know, but
are you going to start like sampling and like those people in the street who do music?
Oh heck yes.
You'll be like rapping with yourself.
A new being autodidactic. Weekend at BurnEye's Matrix sampled intro.
It's auto. Oh God, I can't beatbox for crap, can I?
We'll have them back. Don't you worry. It'll get a little ominous in here.
I don't have any. I can't find that Beijing. I know I've got it. I know it was in
Shanghai. Maybe that could be that.
Yeah, Shanghai. Okay, let me do a search for that word.
Or even ancient Oriental city map.
How do you spell Shang? Was it Shanghai or was it Beijing?
I think all of them, really.
Yeah, pretty much.
Ancient Orient city maps, maybe?
How about China? China.
That is approved by state government board director.
They're going to kick me off Twitter now. China. Oh, do you
No,
know?
we're only highlighting the long and beautiful history of the Chinese people.
Exactly. And another thing is that's confusing about all that is, like the Genghis Khan, right? Was a tall redhead. Now, who were all these people? If Genghis Khan was a white dude with red hair, then who was Confucius and who were, we're told they were all Asian, but I don't think they were.
Well, they're all people of we're always been a global society and intermingling species that it's like there's always been certain places that certain groups are from, but there's always been a Chinatown in every city, a little Italy in every city, just those communities have always remained, and then there's the other ones that have been wiped out that we're no longer told about, like Tartaria, throughout Africa, throughout Asia, and all over, really.
Yeah, and Jared Boosters has a good channel.
Absolutely, we must have Jared on.
He's just put out a I found it. He's just put out a video on Norumbega, which is basically the northeast of the USA. Is that right?
Yeah, Lake Norumbega, the one that John's seen sometimes up in.
Yeah. John has mentioned it before.
Yes.
It's like this city; it gets mentioned and then it disappears. But
do you want to share that?
Into it, and it's really interesting. Well, his video, I think, is there's a few. I saw another one as well today. It was really cool. Oh, Richie, hey. But yeah, it's something I need to. Basically, it looks like Washington was Norumbega, right? They literally.
I could see that.
Yeah, so they went in and they took over, and that whole region. I think there's Philadelphia's up there, and there's all these really big old world cities, and it looked like that was a functioning civilization when they got there in the 1500s, and then it was like 200 years sort of battle war, and the people who were already there lost, and then new people just went and just took over all the cities and went, we built this. Hello, Rich. How you going?
Exactly. The facades were built. The facades were put on, and the new dates were established, right? Conquered.
Exactly.
Claimed by robber barons at this time. Populations genocided, turned on themselves, and the orphan trains of the other lands that we genocided and conquered are now placed on, and here you go.
So this is, I think this one's Shanghai, but check out this lighthouse.
Right?
Huge, not the best resolution, but look at all the bridges. These are all arched bridges, all of them. Look at them all.
And what looks like a couple of
these
in the center, yeah, the Eiffel Tower looking devices, or at least atmospheric reaching dipole.
Well, check out this, right? This is a big building here, right? This is a fountain.
Right?
Right?
Well, that's another thing, that just the structural building of all of it's
plumbing,
insane. And then we're taught that toilets didn't exist before a couple hundred years ago, and it's like, no, but they could plumb these entire super cities. With it's.
I mean, look at it. It's just. It looks like that looks like a fully constructed city that's just been built in a lake, almost like
100% it has been.
Was it the Incas?
Yeah, the reef cities and Titicaca, stuff like that. You're talking about.
All that, and look at this. This is a big covered walkway thing. I mean, what is that? So
there's your Hyperloop freaking port.
yeah. Right. That's.
Is that an aqueduct over on the left?
Here's your satellite connector dome dish in the middle. Only it's inverse. Maybe it's going to inner Earth, not outer, or it's listening, not broadcasting.
Yeah. Well, here's another jump gate here too. Maybe you just go. You just instantly but yeah, look at this. We've got an aqueduct going into a building, but it sort of stops.
I get the. Do you know what? I get the impression from that that's ancient. I think that's ruins in that time when that picture was done. I think that was ruins from a previous civilization.
It's the last of that previous Star Fort society and global civilization. So it's the pre-Mud cataclysm event.
I found this, like Chicago is just like ridiculous, right? Did I save it? Where have I got it? Hang on. So yeah, so USA, anyone up at that? I mean, Dustin's up there. He does a lot of work. We'll have to send him down to Washington, Chicago. Where's that picture? Oh, come on, where did I put it? Where did I put it?
How are your Christmases going, guys? How's your Christmas going, Cam?
Mine is going good. 44 degrees in Perth.
That's crazy.
Yep. The minimum tonight is 29 and 45 tomorrow.
Wow, 29 degrees. Oh man, when it's 30 degrees at night in bed.
I know.
That's close.
That's right. I'm glad I've got air conditioning. Oh my gosh, I've got all this. I'll have to show these, but I've got this. I found this picture of bloody. Where'd I put it? Chicago, and I've never seen it before. I'm gonna have to do a search again. Oh my gosh, Chicago, and like literally, the people look like ants, and it's supposed to be a design, again, right? The design competition and all that kind of stuff. But these buildings, they're just, it's like some of the buildings in that map we just looked at, they were just so oversized. It's built for giants, man.
Right. One thing, just one observation that I'd make would be that perspective, when you take a photograph or when you're looking at perspective from height, that you don't need to get that high for people to become like ants. They get very small quite quickly. You don't have to be that high for them to look like ants. You only need to be sort of 4 or 5 stories up, and they're
it's just in relation to the buildings.
Yeah,
it's one of the best I've ever seen. Like it's just silly.
Is it Chicago that the late Rob Skiba, the rest of his soul,
I don't know.
Is it Lake Michigan?
For the city. Yeah, no, I think that's Michigan. I'm sure.
What if like giants came up from the underground? Could we coexist with them without like slaughtering them and like tossing their
without them slaughtering
like
us?
Paul Cook video shows, and he tells the stories of like the fables. It's like, do they exist in Hyperborea and some sort of inner earth, but hiding because they're afraid of us still to this day, like the Richard Byrd or Tibetan stories of inner earth go?
Maybe they're not as afraid of us as afraid of unintentional damage that they might do, depending on how big they are. Like it would be like us trying to coexist with mice or something, walking around the streets, and there's mice running around all over the place.
Right?
Like you're going to tread on one.
Could be possible too, right?
From the ants' perspective, we are
one
giants.
perspective I've always wondered too is it's like, do other possible entities, creatures, whatever, not reveal themselves due to interfering with humanity's free will and that we're this third dimensional plane where you have the good, the bad, and then the conscious free will being the decider of the third realm, and that if we were exposed to these other dimensional life forms, beings, or civilizations before we were ready, does it break some sort of like universal code or conscious development or something like that?
I think we have to get
right?
there ourselves, don't we? We have to get there ourselves. And I think the benevolent forces that are at play, they have a strict code of non-interference. They can guide through whispers, but they can't, you know, it's literally, they guide you through whispers, through the...
That's such a good way of putting it, Richie. But you can have a good and a bad whisper. It's what you decide to listen to and act on, right? Yeah. That's the key to every individual's life choices.
And that can be discerned by your heart, whether it's, you know, if it's a good or a bad thing, if it's for you or if it's for selfish reasons or for the good of all mankind, kind of thing.
1,000%, brother. I feel you.
Definitely. Oh my God, I've got too many pictures, man. What was I going to
just start sharing, because it is Karen on this holiday festive.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do, because I know where I've got some pictures and I don't know what they are, but I sort of collect them. So let's see what I've got in my bag of tricks. All right. Where are we? Share screen. Okay. That's not it. I've got to get better at this, don't I? All right, can you see that? So not all men want sex. Some also want to walk and talk about rounding up the communists and dropping them from helicopters. Now
no, this is sex. Some want breakfast.
We're back in Asia still, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I thought, is it a video? It's not letting me zoom in. Are you gonna play?
You showed me this one. This is like a second one of one still working.
Yeah.
Over there.
Exactly. Yeah, it's and maybe it's
around the Myanmar area too, right? Like in like the North Korea that have like these like there's so much stuff over there that we're like they tried to bomb. There you go.
It's not quite the same, is it?
No, this one looks like it's flashing out almost out of the aerial, doesn't it?
Where the other one. Rewind to the beginning or unmute it, because wasn't there? It seemed like there was a sound of like a and that'll be the difference whether it was like the sun reflecting or it being like an LED light as opposed to it actually being a reaction from it, like the other video one. But I think it does have that sound. The way the guy's reacting to it, and like I wish we had a translator, because it sounds like it is an experience that they're like a unidentified plasma reaction as opposed to a UAP.
look about a third of the way down as well. From
the
top,
it looks like it's lighting up down there
too. A little over the third of the way down. It's like there's 3 lights there as well.
You've
got 1, 2, and then the third would be at the back.
New age actual LED lighting that they have up there, or is it Antiquitech acting up? That's
been activated.
That's why I'm saying it's not quite the same, because the other one was quite obviously it was a halo.
Yeah.
This one is like, let's hear a replay of the beginning, because there was that sound. I think that was also in the original other one.
Is that? Do you mean that little boom?
That sounded more like a diesel generator than anything.
No.
Yeah, it sounds to me like
there's one little bump in there, like one little, not the not the pneumatic sound. There's another one. Hear that? Sounds like someone coughing almost. Maybe it is. Hear that?
Go back again.
Do you reckon it's someone coughing?
I wish it was higher quality to zoom in, because it could be an LED light beacon up there, but it's pretty sporadic in how it's flashing.
Look,
so
these lights are going on and off.
Oh, and it's right on one of those. No, that's...
These lights are going on and off, I think. Focus your cameraman. Are they? Yeah, see they're getting brighter, or is that just the camera?
Yeah, they're flickering. They are flickering.
So yeah, that one, and that looks like what, top of a stupor or something?
Yeah.
Nice antenna area. There. So there you go, right?
Most likely an activation. Most likely.
And I think John showed another one,
recorded too.
John showed like a picture last week, was it, with the clouds above a building, and you could see this atmospheric stuff in there. Yeah,
right,
you said
in Montreal or Quebec City there. That's awesome. The still active cloud formations in the plasma with the roofing of that citadel.
Look what you can buy on Amazon, by the way. Very nice. While they cut YouTube channels, big trees. Now, how did they cut this? Like, we are told this is cut by a bunch of dudes with axes, right? Look how perfectly smooth that cut is. And that.
Oh, that's like a chainsaw. That's a chainsaw cut. That's not an axe cut.
There's no way that's axe. I mean,
that's
cut,
absolutely. I've cut trees down. I've cut trees down. That's not an axe.
From
yeah, I know, lightsaber. Yeah. How big would the blade have to be to do that in one cut?
Yeah, maybe that was a giant. That was a giant
but
axe.
If you look around the trim of it looks like there's like an actual burning layer of before the bark to the wood there. Like it cut how straight that is, and like off of a little bit. It looks like it's almost laser pointer perfect.
Just the height. If he's 5 foot, that's 12 foot where they finished or started. Well, where they started the cut. Because you can't start down there, so they've got to start at 12 foot off the ground. I mean, what the hell? That's just silly. Oh, we got some orphans having a punch up. This is how they, indoctrinate us, right? Bit of violence. But I mean, where are the parents? Oh, here. Okay, we've got the dodgy parents taking the bets at the back. Oh, Bruce Lee.
Wow, kung fu. I know.
Somersault kick. Somersault kick you in the chin. Ha! I saw actually some footage of Bruce Lee's only ever sparring match, and dude, he was so fast.
Oh,
yeah,
wow,
I've seen that. And his 1 inch punch.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like that dude, right? He slides about bloody 3 meters across the floor.
Just how he literally pulls energy and moves through the ether. There's no other way of explaining.
Well, the thing when you watch Bruce Lee,
Be like water, man.
Be like water. Yes, this is called an archivolt, by the way.
Archivolt.
Archivolt or archivolt, archivolt, right?
I want to put up Walter Russell's periodic diagrams that are the exact same.
Oh yeah, it looks like that, doesn't it? Yeah.
And see what we get out of those combinations, and maybe we'll unlock a portal.
How'd you like to live here? Now the question is,
half-melted building.
Where is this going? Because, right, they're going to tell us this is a cliff, right? This is solid rock.
Full of
so you can see the buttresses above.
Where's the living
look above, though.
You can kind of see what look in there. Near that.
Another wooden window sill into
is it a window, you reckon, or it's something in there?
A building, building.
What have we got here? It's someone.
Refacade.
What's that? 1,520. Is that right? 1520. 23. Are they three? Is that 3?
It's 23. There's a 3 at the end, I think.
15,
If you look up into the
J
right,
actually a 7.
Go.
When taking into Olaf's calendar there, could the J like be across 7? And it's 7:30 this or 7:40 that.
Oh,
or
okay.
7:10 that. It could
Yeah,
be that.
it's worth looking into.
have a look, Cam. Just go up and then to the right. You see where there's like a buttress up there. Can you see it? Yeah, go right. Oh, is it? Go up a bit more.
This right down.
No, up, not to the actual rock. So you're looking at the rock, because I'm trying to see if that is actually the remains of a building there. If that is like a
certain
melted
area exposed to like extreme melting sort of thing.
Look at this bit here.
Yeah.
See how it's all sort of stacked like it's bricks.
Right, like that would have been an extreme heat that crumbled, and then the inner part fused into one solid melted down mass. And
yeah,
then it
like
might have been rebuilt later in an attempt to like reoccupy or refortify it in a post-reset world.
And that whole section, that bit over to the right there, looks like rendering that's fallen off.
This bit here,
it looks like it's almost had, it looks like that's been like concrete has been slabbed on there, and it's just all broken off.
It does, doesn't it?
Right, or like bricks disintegrating into dust falling off, and then like the inner part that cooled into the one big part, right?
Yeah, well, look how this isn't even connected to the rock below it, like it's some kind of flow. See how that?
Yeah,
it's not
like
so it's a lava flow, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a lava flow.
It's a lava flow of molten rock that's just gone over everything, just coated everything over everything.
And then it flowed down and has eroded since. And then the inside probably still intact, encased, like even more solidified or crystallized.
It's even that it looks like a rock wall, doesn't it?
Yeah, and the outer parts remaining will be flaking from its extreme heat exposure until it got into like the big mass cooled igneous formation that would be the solid center, and then anything out would be like your sandstony, eroding, easily flaking, falling apart, or your scorched, crystallized, glass flowed, cooled area.
Look at that.
Pretty much like exactly what we're looking at. That would be like survival rehabilitation of like blast or plasma or nuclear or extreme cataclysm.
I think plasma's plasma's got to be the most it's a highly likely reason for it, isn't it? With the sun and with
absolutely, or some sort of like sonic high resonance energy weapon or technology or something too.
Yeah, they can boil water with sound.
Exactly, right? Play the sonic frequency, that resonant frequency of the granite buildings, and watch it melt in front of you or explode like the crystal glass full of water. You know, who knows?
When they boil water with sound, do they actually raise the temperature of the water, or do they just stop
100 degrees Celsius,
aggravate the air molecules?
It boils.
They actually raise it.
They boil, it's a boiling point.
Exponential energy production gains that cannot be explained when using that method.
It's just frequency. It's got nothing to do with volume or anything. It's just frequency. So
no amperage and very low voltage, just the resonant frequency of the water. And that's kind of like what Tesla's cold electricity is. You can kind of envision it like that.
Because everything is energy.
Do you know what that looked like just before on the Eiffel Tower? That looked like on the top they had a great big concave mirror, and they were directing that beam of light.
It's coming down few bits, yeah.
That night though is the key part, and how did they
Right,
power it all night long with
how many lumens would that be? That
exactly. How
flash?
many lumens? How did they keep this electrical? How did they build the battery, the electrical powering, especially out on these islands, most of them man-made islands, and that they're hundreds, if not like multi-hundreds of years old. Lots of pictures, thousands of years old of these lighthouses in the middle of nowhere being powered by what technology, please? And like the mirror is like the what goes around for the light beacon that spins, but what is powering it for the other half of the day that is the night?
And who are we getting our kids to worship, right?
Oh,
Some Looney Tunes, all right.
And look at this right now. This don't think it's got a date on it. It probably does. Can't read it, but pretty old. Looney Tunes, Tunes. All right.
Oh, you heard my theory about that. You heard my theory about that. So I remember.
Okay, you go. Oh, sure.
I was just going to say, I remember in the 1990s there was a television series that came out on kids' TV called Animaniacs.
Yes.
Right, and everything that was everything that was like Bugs
Warner
Bunny.
Brothers. Yeah, it was Warner Brothers.
Yeah,
They're at the studios, I think. Yeah.
Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, but it was Looney Tunes, Tunes.
Yes, that's true.
Right?
Yes.
And when Animaniacs started, they brought out these childish cartoon versions of like the younger generations of cartoons, and that was Looney Tunes, Toons.
Well, that's what.
And there's something's happened there.
That's because when I told my son, he looked and he looked into it, and the company was sold around that time with the Animaniacs, where they changed everything, or the look of everything. And he said that's when they changed it to Tunes from Toons.
Oh no, they changed.
Because I mean, this is back from the 50s, right? Because the thing is, tunes, right? How does that make any sense if we're talking about cartoons? They're not musicals. They're not about music, right? They're not about tunes.
Because
cartoons.
Because a large part
in
of the cartoons
and 60s they were about
it was all
those
music.
tunes in the musical feature, so that makes perfect sense.
Well,
exactly. They were largely
it's
musical.
We start
they had
seeing some that are from the
soundtracks
60s spelt with a double O, and some from the 80s and 90s spelt with a U. That you have the true.
I have to have a look. Yeah, exactly. We'd have to have a look through all the pictures. Let us know, guys, in the comments. Is it Toons or Tunes? And why isn't Tunes spelled with a CH? That's what I want to know. A bit of oh, this is interesting. Look at this globe. That must be an original one, because look what is on this globe. Right?
Dinosaurs.
No, they're not dinosaurs. They're star signs.
It's a zebra.
They're star signs.
Oh,
it's the zodiac. Because Atlas, the dude who carries the world on his shoulders, and they try and tell us it's the globe, it's not. If you find the old statues and pictures, he's carrying a ball, and this ring around the middle is the zodiac. He's actually carrying the zodiac, and this shows it perfectly. This is and as you can see, right, month 1, month 12, right, 1, and so there you go. Zodiac, and look what it's sitting on, man.
Can you see the people on the top? There's people on the top.
I know. It's so crazy and epic. Like, why would you ever get rid of that?
Oh, exactly.
We have the Eiffel Tower attraction. Why do we just destroy all of these other attractions that are in the mega city?
People don't need to see too many things in it.
Epic.
It was a World Fair type thing. And it was made out of
paper
mache. It was only,
it
was just a temporary thing that was made out of paper mache.
Probably, only lasted until it rained. When it rained, it just melted.
And how many people are standing on top of that paper mache right now?
Yeah, exactly, right. And like little construction there. Look at this, right?
My paper mache blows away in the wind. I don't know about your paper mache balls.
It's just a giant soccer ball,
Where
man.
is this?
This is Paris.
Where is this?
This is Paris.
Well, go down to that gas station.
And look at that arcing thing on top. Like, what is that?
Yeah, I know, right? That thing.
That's a major antiquity.
Just go down to the building on the left.
Yeah, it's like 4 stories down
that one,
into the
with
river,
the
and
thing.
then a couple more
Zoom
stories
in.
up.
Zoom into it because it's written
And
in
look at
English.
all that riverfront.
Service.
That's all
It's written in
riverfront
English. The
development.
sign.
Crazy castle.
Oh, this one here. Yeah, this one.
Yeah.
All removed now.
Oh no, it's not. No, it's not. Service des eaux. No, I thought it was written in. I thought it was written in English. It's not.
I thought that was actually for a minute, but this. I mean, look at this. All on the water, a man-made, of course, man-made. This is not a river. This is a canal. Man-made edges, and buildings the whole way along, and it's all gone. There's that photo of
is that
the. Is
yeah,
what this?
Yes, it is. That's all terraformed buildings and walls into each other.
That is, yeah.
And docks.
It's
and
It's the wood. It's the wood that looks like bricks.
Wood docking.
Yeah,
you can use different boats in there and stuff.
But that's a good point, Richie. Right? Look at this, right? I mean, apart from the fact that it's paper mache, all this masonry, brick buildings. Right, they've built all this, and then what do they do for the dock?
Seasonal floods, all sorts of stuff, right? The ice.
But they can only manage a wooden dock. They can't build.
Yeah.
They can make man-made, edges to the river, the canal, but they can't actually make a dock.
Unless it's temporary, unless it's
I think that there's more like the worker, the peasants, like docking for their like.
That's just where they bring the slaves in,
sort of thing, like because it was every single block was a canal, so
yeah. So I mean,
I forget who I was talking to about this the other day.
Because you wouldn't have that much stained glass windows with the windows like being fully on and everything like so well built. If
the size of
they
that
were working
window.
with wood, but it does look like there's maybe a couple broke. No, because it was during the World's Fair or everything.
It's all the spires.
Well, yeah,
all the
like
spires on top of the cones. Right? Three spires on top of cones, and they're all pretty much identical. What would that have been for? Radio? Is it a radio
actually,
tower?
the antennas are taken off of all of the little capacitors on not there but on the Eiffel Tower, and there's flags on them instead now.
Yeah, always.
So, flags on most of the antennas, so it could be after the tech has fallen for sure.
Yeah, lots of flags. Yeah, red flags.
Could that globe have been a giant Van de Graaff generator that's built right next to the giant?
We'll have to go back and see. We have to see if the people standing on top, if their hair was on end.
Well, this, like we said, after
people got afros.
After the tech had fallen, right? So they're just trying to make a show out of it once they conquered it and destroyed it from working, right? They destroyed the tech, conquered the lands. Probably the story of the 10 different Napoleons that supposedly existed one after each other, and was the only emperor of all of France's history, not a kingship or monarchy, but emperor. And there was 10 of them in a row, and then all of a sudden somehow encountered the Rothschilds, and it's been them ever since. Like something doesn't quite add up right there, and that's like official history in Canada. Like,
and the Rothschilds just happened to use. They just happen to use Napoleon's greatest battle to steal the wealth of the UK, basically. So yeah, it's very legit.
Yeah, right, exactly. That's the other part of history that goes with it. And we robbed the entire UK banking system.
Exactly, in one day.
I watched a really interesting story the other day about and the guy, not a story. I watched a really interesting video the other day, and a guy was talking about Napoleon. And then he was talking about basically the Napoleonic Wars, and then up to the Russian Revolution, the Bolsheviks, and all that. And it's saying that it all goes back. All of it has always been funded by the royals.
Oh yeah, of
The
course.
royals
Yeah,
have been funding everything that's been going on.
definitely.
So, but what I was going to say was one of the things that you don't really seem to see so much of in the US is huge waterway systems, canal systems, and stuff. And I'm thinking,
Filled
how
in.
many have been filled in?
Yeah.
Yeah. How
Train
many of
lines
them
and
they
roads.
filled in, or they've built over them?
Yeah.
And they're running underneath.
Yeah, that's the
They're
what are they
still
called?
flowing.
That stuffed beagle
Viaducts.
yeah. Yeah. This giant put his foot in it and lost.
It's a very realistic foot, isn't it?
Oh, it is. I mean, it's very realistic, isn't it? It's even got.
It is incredibly realistic.
It's wearing something. Be interesting to see the top, wouldn't it? See if there are any like veins and stuff in there.
Yeah, see if there's if you can see like a core that would be the the bone marrow and the tibia.
The actual the anatomy. That's the word. I'm not sure what's going on here. Check out this house, this brand new house, and look it's in the middle of a war zone. Look, they're literally trying to prop this building up next to it so it doesn't fall over.
Honestly, do you know what that looks like to me?
It looks like a set, doesn't it? It looks like a diorama.
It looks like a set. That doesn't look real at all.
Doesn't look real. It doesn't. Got moving with the people.
That building's too perfect. That building's way too perfect.
Yeah, it looks like a model. But look at these people. There's, or actually, maybe there's not movement. Maybe they've just faded the
photo for sure, where they edited.
It looks like they've just
There's a couple channels that show how that's like
weird.
That would be like in a newspaper print, probably, of a structured photo or ad that they've put together, and that's like Photoshop of the 1800s.
It'd be like it's a new housing estate. Come on, build your new house. Look at all this vacant land.
They've superimposed the people. That's a model. That's not
even
a
the
full
car
size
doesn't
building.
look real.
It's not. That's a model, man, and they've superimposed those fucking people over it.
But look at these people. Oh, I reckon they've just blurred them a bit.
They're all hiding their faces.
From a video too, right?
I don't think they're actually moving.
Film that they took a still or a print of the people in that 8mm movie clip picture, and then imposed that over top of it as well. The negative.
So that's three photos at least.
Oh yeah, they layered it like probably 10 different pictures deep sometimes. And that's what people have to understand is like staged pictures have been going on and the technology of it for a very long time.
Over on the right, that's part of the model, but behind it, that's a backdrop. That's a painting behind it. It looks like the whole scene behind it. And also, what's that?
This bit here, yeah.
What's that shadow? What's the sort of shadow?
Yeah, I don't know. This
what
bit here, and it looks like it's back up to here. You've got this chimney thing. I mean, but it looks like that is the same as that, doesn't it? It looks like a new. I don't know.
Is that either feeling creepiness or crazy Egyptian antiquity?
There's another one here. What's this? Look at that sort of circle with the. What's going on there? And look, the line. Is this just where they stuffed up? Maybe. Look, the lines come straight through the house.
I'll tell you what that looks like. Actually, do you know what that looks like?
Fake
3D
shadowing,
painting.
maybe?
A 3D painting, and those are like that's water. That's the wall. It's a flat wall, and those are points where water has leaked out and dripped down the painting. So it's a three-dimensional painting, but it's that looks like water that's leaked out of like pipes or something.
Yeah, it does a bit. It's very strange, isn't it? So nothing is as it seems, right? Oh, Freemasonry, a celebration of the craft. Yee-hee!
Interesting that they call it the craft.
Wearing the circle.
Always
they call it the craft, and the film The Craft is about magic. The craft is considered to be magic.
Exactly.
Which craft are we talking about? This is, I think this is supposed to be Niagara Falls. This one, back in the day.
Right.
He's pretty close to it. It's not the best photo.
And apparently they stopped the flow of it for a while, and like they reduced it like exponentially, where it was eating away at it. Like
where do they put the water? Where do they put the water that they divert? Because the only way to slow it would be to divert
built. The channels were already built that they had control of the flow of it, and that infrastructure was already there for them to be able to do that. Is what it would have to be.
Well, imagine that. Yeah. Imagine if there's big valve stations somewhere, and all the rivers for each continent are all connected, all the canals, and they can just literally put more volume into some places than others. I mean, that would stop any droughts, wouldn't it?
That's an interesting Mandela effect. Niagara or Niagara.
Oh, right. What?
Bernie, what
the name change, has it?
Yeah,
the balls are crazy. They're billions. Some are billions of years old. They were like radio dated, and then it's like they show perfect symmetry and like composition.
I really don't trust their radio dating. I don't trust any
carbon
of that
dating.
Neither do I. It's just like it's an ooh part for what's officially recognized as one of the oldest things.
Yeah.
It looks like metal too. It looks like it's a big ball of like rusted, and a flake's fallen off.
That's I'll tell you what that is. That's a little.
This dude's got a job ahead of him, hasn't he? He's sitting there with his shovel. He's going to dig this out. Good on you, mate. Good luck.
That's a pea from a giant's pea shooter.
Yeah, it actually looks like a giant's toe, right? And the end of his shoe's broken a bit.
It could almost be the top of a helmet, couldn't it? A giant's helmet.
Yeah.
What are you
Imagine
eating?
That. Imagine if he kept digging and he found like a skull face in the front of it. I think Richie wants your food, mate.
What are you eating, Bernie?
I'm eating some coleslaw, cabbage, and mayonnaise.
I love coleslaw, man. It's making me hungry.
Sorry. There we go. Didn't mean to keep.
I'm gonna have to eat chocolate.
I think if we do this
Does that look like a tree?
Oh, now we're blocking
now. Could that be a bone instead of a tree?
A bone, a tree, either or, really. Both are just as likely. Organ.
Imagine if that was like the femur.
I love you all. Merry Christmas, happy holidays. It's 8:30 a.m. and I need to get some sleep before I go pick up the wifey and make Christmas dinner with Ma and Pa. So love you all, and we will see you soon on the next one. Sorry,
all right, let me stop sharing.
If I don't go now, I will be screwed.
Quick exit.
You guys can keep going by all means. I'm just going to mute myself.
Okay. Have I still got?
No, yeah, you're still live. We got 215, and you're on your channel and my channel and all the channels. I'm just gonna mute myself out as well.
All right, cool. No worries.
So when you turn it off, then my computer will just go into sleep mode and join me in Never Never Land before I wake up for Christmas dinner.
All right.
Merry Christmas,
everyone.
Merry Christmas.
All of you lovely
souls. Merry Christmas to Amber. Have a great day. Even though you're going to go sleep it all away.
Will do. No, it's a power nap time now. I'm screwed before this. Oh my God, the sun is rising. Love you all. See you next time.
Love you too, Burn. See you, mate.
Love you too, man. See you later.
All right. Well, let's get back. I'll go through the rest of those pics, eh? Then there were two. How do I do this? Oh my God, pictures everywhere. Oh, we're up to this one.
Right.
Oh, this is a grave. I think this is in the ground.
How many doorways have got?
These have got dates on them. Here sits someone.
Nobilis Elfriditus.
Nobilis. That's not very nice.
Antonius. Lempuria.
I-719.
Yeah. November.
Dr. Winatus, Doctor of Natural Colony, something. These are all, so I can't, what's the story? I think these are in, I'll have to remember. I think there's another one. But they're all laid in the ground with all these weird symbols and dates, but I think that the language on them and predates that culture actually getting to the country, but I can't remember what the country is.
I mean,
Look at
was
this
Latin,
all in the ground.
wasn't
Is that Latin?
I think that was Latin. Well, that looks like German or maybe Dutch.
There's that one, J767. All these weird old, and inside a building. I mean, I don't know. It's weird, isn't it?
And what are those numbers? There's numbers on those. On the four.
Yeah, there.
5,
Yeah.
6, 7, 3, 6, 7, 8. What's that?
It could be a
6.
5. Yeah, no, it's a 5.
Oh, it is 5,
yeah.
6, 7, 8. Yeah.
It is 5. So before 3. Yeah.
3. Right.
So yeah, I don't know. Maybe they couldn't afford to write the name, so they just got a number, and you go and look at it and it says, "Here lies someone."
That wall that's been built there. That's a partition wall that's been built over it.
This, yeah.
No. Up at the top, the white wall.
Here.
Look, because it cuts right across. There's number 3. So where's? Oh,
yeah.
I see. They go round there. Yeah, yeah.
2.
They go round.
Well, where's 1? There.
Maybe the one that hasn't got a number on it.
You know. What's with all the chickens?
Hens,
male.
How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
6, 7.
7 hens.
Course. Maybe it's 7th hennen.
How many geese were there?
That was funny.
How many geese are laying?
7, wasn't it?
7
geese
are laying.
But only one was laying golden eggs, apparently. Oh my
It's
God,
a skull,
what is that?
isn't it?
Wee! Oh my God, it looks like the fly.
Oh my God, yeah, it's like a lionish type bug.
Oh yeah, I can see that, the lion. A lion bug, yeah.
Or it could be reptilian, but with bug eyes.
They definitely look like bug eyes, don't they? Gee.
What's that date?
Freaky. Oh, what the hell?
Oh my God, what?
Okay. Well, there you go. No, this is not an old one, but
just take a look on the right there. What is that? Is that a mushroom?
Well, okay, yeah, right. Okay, I didn't see that. Jeez, I think that's how you extract parasites. I'm not sure. Maybe. Oh, actually, what that is, I think that's the procedure for giving the 4th jab. That's how it's going to be given.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, it might be the test, actually. It might be the newest PCR test.
Maybe it is. You know, if a boy comes out your butt, then, you know, you're positive. If it's a girl, you're negative. Who knows? We learn from history that we do not learn from history. Exactly.
And those that forget history are doomed to repeat it.
Exactly. They are. This is Hyde Park and City. This is Sydney.
I'll just say as well, it's not that we haven't learned from history. It's that the history that we've been taught is false.
Is wrong.
Therefore, you know, if you're being taught bullshit, how can you learn from it?
Exactly. We are trying. Jeez, look at that. That's very Moorish, isn't it? But I'm not sure what the date is here. No people in this city.
There's no one there.
There's no one there. That looks like a tram. So, I mean, you would have to think, okay, there's someone in the park. One person. So, like, it's got to be late 1800s time, maybe 19, you know. And look how built out it is. It's just completely built out. Sydney, Australia, right? Even you know.
So Adrian Elise, who I listen to, dude.
You what?
Adrian Elise, Adrian Elise is like an astrologer, astronomer. I never know the difference. That she gives readings, the Gear Daily Reading, it's called. But one of the things she says that we are supernova souls. Those of us that are awake and we're consciously awake and we're aware and we're doing the work. We're consciously doing the work on ourselves to try, you know, to find out what we can fix in ourselves, to understanding that will then reflect out into our experience and everything. All of us, we're supernova souls because in every generation since they've been doing this, since they've been deceiving us, every time we've been reincarnated, this is what we've been doing. We've been fighting this fight. We've always been awake. Every time we've been incarnated, we've been awake, and we've been persecuted, and we've been, you know, we've gone through a lot of crap to get to now, where we are now, where we're awake once again. We're still the ones that are awake. We were awake last generation and the one before, you know, or maybe how many generations does it take before you're reborn, before your soul is reborn into the system, you know? So, but like I've got this theory that we're the originals, we're the original souls, that we're here at the start. That's why we all know that this is all crap going on. We can see through it. And Adrienne Elise says basically the same thing, that she says that we've been the ones fighting for the last 1,000 years or whatever, you know, in every.
What does that make people that aren't awake? Like, who are they?
Well, there's
annoying.
There's new souls, aren't there? There's new souls.
Okay.
There's souls that have never, souls that never experienced an incarnation on Earth before. So they came here to experience it and then got trapped.
Into the reincarnation cycle.
Yeah. Into the karma. It's into the karma loop that then reincarnates you.
Yeah, and that, then we get into portals and the sun, right?
Bernie have to interject that.
Bernie, what are you doing?
Bernie's back.
Or like these, what's the other word? The indigo souls and stuff like that have been born in the last couple generations as we switch over to this new era, the new age of Aquarius. And that there's both a birth of more new human souls as well as a bunch of old incarnated souls from outside coming in simultaneously, sort of thing, to help these new ones transition up and over, or if we fail and back down into the 2D destruction all over again. Don't burn down your
we know this time we know we don't fail. This time we don't.
Thing.
Know that.
We don't.
Like, we did
it's almost like it's already been done. And our
consciousness
has been done.
What she said for reference, by the way.
What's that?
You what?
Can't stop the burn. Sorry.
What did you say, Burn? We missed it.
Capilicious. Can't stop the burn.
Your wisdom. Hello, Burn. Burn.
Okay. Sorry, that was a naughty inside joke.
Okay. Maybe it was best.
Where they go?
Maybe that was the ether blocking you out, so we didn't
that's not what she said.
Okay. Kappa heard it. What was it, Kappa? Tell us. Yeah, I know, right, Eliza? Burn goes to bed. That was quite a power nap, right? 2 minutes and he's back and going.
That was like my 90-hour thing.
Amazing podcast on the couch next to it, and then you guys start talking deep shit.
Like,
and I have
that's good. I might have to get back into it.
So I'll put the camera at the dog, and we'll have a T2 cam, and you might hear me snoring from time to time if it unmutes somehow.
The dog is
I like
bad.
Bert and Ernie, man. I like Bert and Ernie.
Yeah. What
Till
What do you
Sesame
get when you
Street
get
said I had to
BurnEye?
do it myself. Like, come on, guys. Like, why did they have to make me gay with myself? Because, like,
Yeah. Do you reckon Ernie's a cone head? He's got a very long, pointy head, hasn't he?
It's accentuated by the tuft. Do you think the tuft
tuft.
is actually a? Do you think that's really a Mohican though?
It could be a round Mohican,
Mm.
a circle Mohican. Is that what they're called? Yeah, yeah.
Going back to what we were talking about with
Was it?
souls and
Oh
stuff.
no, it was. Sorry, just on BurnEye. Do you remember when they cancelled Noddy and Big Ears because they slept in the same bed or they lived in the same house or something? Remember that? Like kids didn't know they were gay until you told them. People, come on, adults, get your mind out of the gutters.
That's the funny thing, isn't it? It's like Rainbow, right? I used to love Rainbow. I used to be run down to watch Rainbow. The kiddies is like up above the streets and houses, rainbow flying high, da 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 da. So at Zippy and Bungle. Zippy, Bungle, and George. George was a pink hippopotamus who was gay. A gay pink hippopotamus. Zippy was this
Rainbow.
Had a zip head, had a zip mouth, like they could zip his mouth shut. So he was called Zippy, and he was just kind of loud and obnoxious. Bungle was a gay bear, a great big. Well, maybe he wasn't gay, but he was extremely camp. And then there was I can't remember. Freddie, was it Freddie or
Freddie Mercury? Yeah, he was gay.
No,
sure.
There was There was a human. Like there were some humans that were in it as well. And the old boy, he was a proper lovey. He was a real camp as you like lovey. But the thing is, that was all lost on me when I was 3 years old.
Yeah.
It was totally lost on me. And then like 5 years ago, I watched one of the episodes.
Oh my god!
And I sat there, and I was like, oh my god, my parents.
Well, they should have known it. Yeah.
Yes.
They would have known what it all meant.
Absolutely, they would have known exactly what was. And I think
how interesting is it that it was called Rainbow?
Yeah.
Like, what are the flags, right? Like, what's the symbol now of all that queerness? Yeah. And of course, guys, this is nothing against people who are
not at all
homosexual, whatever. It's against the agenda pushing this on children.
Yep, I've got.
And that's not actually what they're pushing. They want people to cut their bits off and pretend they're the fourth gender. Or
I've got some really good friends. I've got some really good friends who are homosexual. It's not an issue at all.
So I always have. Well,
but
I've got transgender friends too.
Oh, I do. Do you know I had a transgender friend, but he, it wasn't really my friend. He was my friend by default, and he wasn't transgender because he was pre-op. He was more transsexual. He liked it, but he would
cross-dressing kind of phase and all that, like living as a.
He could only do it over our house. So we'd come over our house, go into the bathroom for an hour, and then come out as this diva. And, you know, as a man, he was a shadow. You wouldn't even know he was there. Really, like, such low self-esteem. He used to walk everywhere with his cap pulled down, like head down, just moving around everywhere really quickly so nobody saw him or spoke to him. And he was really, really shy. But as soon as he dressed up as a woman, this huge character came out. But the trouble was, he was a bitch. He was a complete bitch. All of his resentments towards, you know, his parents.
Some similar stories. That's absolutely fabulous, and that you could provide that environment.
Fabulous.
Feel safe, Richie. That's amazing. That is a true heartwarming Xmas story.
But it's kind of funny though. Like, yes, You finally
I shouldn't tell
I'm
the end of the
finally my
story.
true self. Yes, I'm out, and everyone turns around and goes, "Yeah, but you're a fucking bitch."
Dude, I said it to him. I'm not joking. I said it to him. We were sat down. It was like Christmas, and I'm sat down talking to him. I said, like, Martin, dude, I love the fact that you are so, like, you're like a whole person. And I think, you are much more, you're obviously much more comfortable, you're much better, but why do you have to be such a bitch, mate? Like, you're just being catty about people, and it's obviously, it's misplaced anger because of the situation.
Yeah. But I mean, maybe is that also, maybe a way that he could express that? Because if you look at, how powerful women were portrayed in the 80s and even into the 90s, they were just all bitches, right? You had to be a bitch.
Yeah.
Joan Collins. Jump on everyone. Yeah, Joan Collins, woo, and all that, yeah.
Dynasty,
and all the way through.
Dallas, all of that.
And then it's still going, really. I mean, now they have like the housewives shows, the housewives of here and there, and they just sit around and bitch about each other. So, I mean, mate, who knows?
The
all
films, Mean Girls.
Mean Girls, yeah.
Like, but the thing is, in my experience, that is my experience of women. They're much nastier to each other than men are. Men might have a little bitch and a whine, but it's basically that it comes down to a basic handful of insults, and it's normally, it's just never a really big thing, is it? Whereas women, they're really two-faced.
We don't get emotionally
really two-faced, man, and really we don't get emotionally
attached, and triggered and stuff, like we can, which is also, it goes the other way too. A lot of men don't have any emotion and won't connect at all, but yeah, a lot of women live too much in that emotion, right? They have the opposite problem. Everything's emotional, and everything has
drama
to be
queens.
Drama queens. You have to be offended, you have to do this. Shut up.
Well, that's what they've done to society now, obviously, like emasculating men, turning everybody into a hypochondriac drama queen who was offended at everything. Snowflake, like, has never been more relevant, really, has it? It is a land of snowflakes now.
I saw a meme the other day, and it had a photo of this dude, and it was taken up in Scandinavia somewhere, and it was this just pathetic male, sort of hunched back over, wearing a dress and carrying a briefcase, and it was just like, the quote was something like, they used to be Vikings, or something like that. And it's just like, what the hell? I mean, and this is in the whole thing of accepting, right? You have to accept everything. You have to accept everyone. You have to, you have to make sure you don't offend anyone. That's just a fast track to the gutter as far as society goes, because it's saying, don't worry about your values. Doesn't matter. Just let those people do whatever they want. They have different values to you. So, instead of it, if they want to do that, that's fine. But it should be, well, you have to do it over there. If you want to dress up in lingerie as a fat old man and dance down the street, you probably shouldn't be doing it where children are watching. You can do it wherever you want, but just go and do it where there's no kids. No one's interested. I mean, what would happen if we got a bunch of heteros together and we all got G-strings on and shit, and all the girls
exactly, and started doing it heterosexually,
and doing all the rubbing up and everything, we'd all be put in jail, right? So this is a problem. If it's unacceptable, it's unacceptable. This whole but they've got problems. Well, deal with it, right? Fucking deal with it. I mean,
The thing is, it was obviously there's always going to be people that have got opinions about it, but it has been made. It's been a largely widely acceptable thing since the 90s. I remember it, becoming acceptable because you had a lot of people walking around with the whole "I'm queer, get used to it." I'm here, I'm queer, get used to it, man. That was a big 80s, 90s thing. That was. So, you know, we've had it for such a long time, and it's maybe not everybody feels comfortable with it, but most people are polite about it in company. You know, they don't, the hatred that used to exist, the ridicule and condemnation that used to exist hasn't existed for a long time.
Did it really though?
Maybe with zealots.
I think there was an undertone of that, but I don't think it was ever as bad as we were told. I think that whole story was to bring this in, right? To say, poor little them, they can now do whatever they want because all you nasty people, you've been running around calling them names.
Yeah.
But then, you know, when we get the stats and when you look at it, you find out, hang on, it's actually them that are calling us the names.
Yeah.
Because we're not complying enough with how they want to, you know, with everything. You know,
But
I mean,
that's
just
the
think
same,
about it. It's just insane.
That's the same with CRT, you know, because
Racing?
basically what they've done with that is they're saying that, they're saying that white people are evil because we segregated colored people, and therefore we should be segregated and hated for it. It's like two wrongs make a right, man. You did it first, so we're going to do it back to you.
And it was your grandparents, not you.
Huge chip on the shoulder. I've got experience of racism in my family because my mum is very dark skinned, because my granddad was from North Africa with, you know, basically he was black. He had white afro hair and he was black. And so my nan was quite racist. My dad's mum was racist towards her, and it caused a massive rift in the family. So I've got first-hand experience of racism in the family. I remember slapping a girl around the face in primary school because she turned around and said, "Oh, your mum's a half caste." Slap. Because at the time, in the 1980s, the late 1980s, half caste.
We had that.
Somebody half caste. It wasn't exactly a very nice way. It was a derogatory way termed for somebody. So I slapped her, man.
It's kind of like you don't belong to either group.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's. How small would you have to be though to be a racist? I mean, this is how I think of it. It's like to actually, you know, to be so pathetic that the only thing that you can find about yourself that makes you better than someone else is the color of your skin. Really just shows you that you're nothing. That's what race is. I mean, seriously,
it shows
that's how I see it.
How low your self-esteem is.
If that's it, yourself. Yeah, you got nothing. You got nothing. And put on top of that you didn't even do anything to get the color of your skin. It was completely random, as far as we know, right? I mean, but saying that, I really don't think it's anywhere near as big as they try and tell us. It's just promoted because they want it. They want division. They want us to do that. But most people you meet, you know, you don't really meet racists. I mean, how many of you met in your life that were open? You know,
two or three. Only two or three in my life.
40 years, right? Yeah. So there's not many of them out there. You know.
The thing is, it's a blurry line because of recent events, because of what I saw going on last year and this year with the protests with Antifa and BLM and stuff, and also because of my personal experience living near Southampton. I lived near Southampton, which is very high Indian and Pakistani Muslim population there, and the sort of teenagers and 20-year-olds in their gangs with their patois and their street talk, and they will fucking talk like they got their voice.
Ali G, mate.
Yeah, like Ali G on crack. I heard them talking, you know, I heard the conversations that they were having and the things that they were saying about white people, about English people, about England, you know, about all of it. And it's like, whoa, listen, if this is how you feel, fuck off. Why are you here? If this is how you feel, why are you here? Go back to the land of your ancestry. If you think it's so much better, go back there. Don't be here because, you know, and then people will say, oh no, that's racist. Hang on. No, it's not racism. I'm responding to the racism shown towards me and my country. And then you've got what's going on, you know, that people they're hating white people, saying white people are just inherently born racist. And I'm sat here going, how does that work? My mum's half caste, my grandfather was black, so I'm quarter North African. How am I a racist?
I'm black in summertime, so that makes me a quarter, at least 3 months of the year. So I must be a quarter racist. I mean, quarter black, quarter racist. Oh my God.
You can tell I haven't been out in the sun for a couple of years.
I know, me too, right? Like this summer.
When I go out in the sun, I go really, really brown, really quickly as well. I start tanning in like 30 minutes. That's one of the blessings of having a black grandfather. I'm really, I appreciate the melatonin in my skin.
I'll have to have a look. But yeah, I don't even burn. Like I can go out because I don't ever wear sunscreen.
No,
and if I, you know, burn, you get like that dark red that's almost brown.
Yeah.
And then you wake up the next morning. No, it doesn't hurt really. And then you wake up the next morning and it's just brown. It's just black. And it's
what it is. The worst is it gets a bit tight. It feels like it's a bit tight, and you think,
and a bit dehydrated almost. Yeah.
Bit tight. But the next day it's brown, or it's gone like my neck.
Brown, and then you don't burn again. Then you're good. Yeah. You just don't burn again. It's awesome.
I know something about the sun has changed. If I were to go out in the sun tomorrow and just sunbathe with no suntan, I think I might burn now because there's something about the heat from the sun that's different.
It's more directed. I was watching.
It's more radiated, you know.
J Dreamers, I think.
Yeah.
He was talking about Blue Kachina and stuff, and how you know, if you get a torch and you shine it on a wall, you know, the light's more yellow, and the more you focus it, the more white it goes.
Yeah.
And then if you keep focusing, it actually starts to go blue. And of course, is the Blue Kachina the next, you know, the next stage in what's going open, right?
Oh, is that going to be our next sun, a blue sun?
Yeah. Maybe, yeah, exactly right.
Maybe if there is some sort of plasma discharge, the sun might change color.
Well, it's all to do with blue and red, the plasma, isn't it? Cold plasma and hot plasma. So you would expect one, you know, if the red sun, the hot orange sun went, then now we're getting the balance, which is the blue. And we're at the end of the cycle, right? So the cathode's like
red and blue. Red and blue.
Everything's red and blue. Everything.
And then red and blue together is purple.
Yeah, purple, exactly. Yeah. Red bloods, blue bloods, purple, queen. Yeah.
You've got two different sets of primary colors as well. You've got red, blue, and green, and red, blue, and yellow. So one's artistic, red, blue, and yellow. That's the artistic primary colors. And then in physics, it's RBG, red, blue, green. RBG or RGB, sorry, red, green, blue. RGB TVs, RGB screens, all red, green, and blue, isn't it? All the pixels are red, green, and blue.
Yeah.
There's something really significant in those colors.
There is.
In those two sets of colors, because they represent it in a...
Richie, you're bang on, and goddamn it, making me get up again.
Go to sleep, Bernie.
But it's
Amber's waiting, man.
I've pondered that so many times, and it's so red is your infrared spectrum, blue is your ultraviolet spectrum on the actual light energy wavelength, and then the green in the physics aspect of it, and that RGB, right? And that is the technology, that is the spectrum aspect, and then like in school, in art class, in mixing pigments, it's red, yellow, blue for your primaries, and it's completely different. It's the inverse. where
because green comes
green, and then
green comes from yellow and blue, doesn't it? Green is it's a product of yellow and blue. So so you've still got yellow in there.
The wavelength is the opposite.
With red, green, and blue, you've
neutral or life in the physics aspect of it.
Yeah.
And, but just listening to you guys, just listening, it's the perfect podcast. So for the 48-hour streams and when we schedule it in, we can also go on to the Spotify podcast and like simultaneously like go live for like your certain portion of yours just to your own accounts, as well as the overall stream to all of our accounts on it too, and hit that platform. And we are all going to have 1 million+ subs by the time I'm done with this.
Oh, sweet.
Yes, there is. The 48-hour stream is still going ahead, if you've been wondering. We're just getting through the details, but it's coming.
And officially, more channels have signed on than ever, and it's somewhere between 500,000 to 1.5 million different subscribers worth of channels will be partaking in it on the launch in next month, including wonderful Richie and always being autodidactic.
Oh yeah, baby!
And now I shall go to sleep.
All right, stream well. Good night.
Good night, dude. Sweet dreams.
Turn the volume down.
Going back to the physics RGB, yellow still exists in red, green, and blue. If green is a product of blue and yellow, then if you separate green, if you were to split green, then there's blue and yellow and green. So there's red, blue, green, and so there are actually even the three. There's actually 4 colors in the physics primary color table. There's like I said, there's still yellow. It's just you can't see it there because it's as green with the blue,
hidden in plain sight.
So there's 2 references to fiction on TV. Avatar, The Legend of Aang, the cartoon, 3 books, 3 seasons, which are 3 books, and it's talking about Aang, who was the last Avatar, the last Airbender, and what he has to do to become the Avatar, to become the fully functioning Avatar, is he has to master the 4 elements. The 4 elements have 4 colors: red, blue, green, and yellow. There's a new series that's out now that Mish Awesome put me onto, called The Wheel of Time. Absolutely,
yes.
I'm loving it, man. I'm really loving it.
Who do you know? Is that by Robert Jordan?
I don't know. It was written 20 years ago. And the interesting
it must
thing
be.
is,
I used to read them as books, and it's the biggest. It's like literally like 15 books, and they're all like 2,000 pages or something. Or some of them are like 900. It's like, oh, a small one, yay.
But it seems like the fundamental truth drops about the divine feminine, about the 4 elements, and how. So, right. My theory is that we talk about avatars. So we have the film Avatar, where they put the consciousness into an avatar,
and that's
we've
got
the
Vedas,
meta,
and that's what an avatar is,
right? Yeah, we've got the metaverse that Zuckerberg's creating, which have avatars in there. I'm saying that we are
an avatar,
right? These are avatars, but we haven't realized our full potential. So our full potential is in the legend of the last Airbender. The whole point of the avatar is he provides balance between the spiritual and the physical, which means he's an interdimensional being, right? He's a spiritual. The story of it is that in order to beat the Dark Lord, the light spirit actually merged with this avatar, who had been granted the mastery of all 4 elements: earth, wind, fire, and water. And what I'm saying is, though earth, wind, fire, and water relate to different aspects of our existence that we have to master. So water would be emotion.
Emotions.
Right, we were saying water would be emotion, but the thing is, fire is undoubtedly passion.
Fire is emotion. Yeah, passion.
So fire is emotion. Yellow is air, which is spiritual. Green is earth, which is physical. And then blue is water, which is memory.
Ah.
I think it's got something to do with memory, because water holds memory.
Yeah.
Right? And water will hold the memory of our ancestry. Like there's water buried away in the mountains, the sweet water that's buried, that's in the wells in the mountains, where truly that's where our water comes from. There is the precipitation cycle, but that's not really where most of our water comes from.
Comes from below.
Yeah. So that sweet water will contain memory.
Yeah, exactly. Like streams and things, and we just get crap, right? Through their pipes, and they probably fractal it themselves. You know, we've all seen the Emoto work and how crappy the bad water looks.
If we were drinking fresh, clean water from the mountain, would that give us some sort of connection to our ancestry through the memory of the water? Yeah, through the memory of the water. So what I'm saying is, once we've mastered all four elements, the elements it's the elements of our life, not the elements of this realm, being earth, wind, fire, and water, but the elements of our consciousness and our existence, which being emotion, intellect, physical experience, spiritual, the air side, being in touch with your spirit. Now, because you've got your spirit and you've got your higher self and you've got your soul, haven't you? So I forget who it was I was listening to was saying that the soul. Oh, it was
the soul. Yeah, when you travel.
It was Gubble talking about
when you Gubble.
No, talking about the soul.
When you travel.
The soul holds the spirit. The soul.
The soul is like a box that holds the spirit. Yeah, exactly.
Holds the spirit.
And that's when he said, like, when you travel, he said your soul goes with you, but your spirit lags and has to catch up. Yeah.
Yes. And that's why you feel exhausted and everything.
Jet lag.
Yeah.
It's not jet lag, it's spirit lag.
Yeah. So
everyone go and donate, by the way.
The Wheel of Time. Yeah, go and donate to the I don't know what the fund is.
To the elders, yes.
To the elders, to Gobble. The Wheel of Time have you watched any of them?
No. What's it on? I'll have to, because it's probably this
Amazon
book.
Prime.
This book that I used to read, Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime.
I have to pay for that. I have to check it
out. I haven't paid
for
it.
Is one of cool.
I've downloaded. No, it's not a passcode. It's just it's uTorrent.
Yeah. Oh, okay. You've just recorded it. Is the main character called Rand?
Yes. Well,
Rand?
yeah. He's one of the characters.
He is
Rand.
There's three, right? And basically,
there's
the dragon. Who's like a dwarf.
There's five.
And
five.
Rand is the dragon. He's the red dude, right?
Oh,
and then what else are they called?
Spoiler alerts.
What?
Spoiler
no, I didn't say anything.
They haven't actually said who the dragon is yet, man. Dude, I can't believe you just totally ruined it. 7 episodes.
I didn't. He's not the dragon. He's not the dragon.
No. In episode 7.
He's just dragging his feet along, right? He needs to get into action. He's dragging his feet along the ground.
Tranquilo, amigo. They
wow.
Yeah, they hint
so
at the end of by the end of the seventh episode, you kind of guess that it's Rand. Rand actually goes up to he goes up to the head witch, I can't remember what they're called, Odisai or something. She goes up to her. He goes up to her and says, "It's me. I'm the dragon." And that's the end of the 7th episode. So we're just waiting for episode 8
And it all
now.
changes because it's called the Wheel of Time, and it keeps changing times. It gets very confusing.
Oh, right.
So is it a cartoon?
Happened yet? No.
Is it a cartoon?
No. It's
a real show.
Combination. Yeah, it's a real show with real people.
Oh my God, I'm gonna have to watch it for sure.
It's it's sort of Netflix quality, basically. It's like a Netflix thing. Yeah. It's not quite Hollywood graphics. It's not quite Hollywood acting.
So have they been through the ways? The ways?
Yeah, they went through the ways to get to, I forget where they went. And when they went through the ways, they found that, so the Dark Lord's army is trying to find the dragon. And when they go through the ways, they come across the Dark Lord's, the Trollocs. They come across the Trollocs in the ways, and the Trollocs could never navigate the ways before. And now the Trollocs are navigating the ways as well. So, and the Trollocs just look like Baphomet, basically, don't they? They're like, Baphomets, just horns, big gaping maws, and and eating everybody, ripping everybody apart and eating them. But what I love, right, the intro, I'm going to do a video about this actually. The intro, it starts off with these, it's like a line, a line that's made out of many, many fibers. And it's pulled tight, tight, tight until all the little fibers start to break and break until the line snaps. Then it goes into tendrils, like fibers, but they're digital fibers. And they start going around everywhere and weaving in and out of each other. And then it pans out and it shows you that it's weaving a tapestry. So these tendrils, these fibers are weaving a tapestry
over the top.
And then at the end, and the tapestry is, there are four women, or 4 or 5 women, I can't remember, around the outside that represent, no, it's 4 because it's red, blue, green, and then at the end, the wind blows it all away, right? What I think it is all of these fibers are timelines. They're all timelines that are weaving together and to make this tapestry, to make this complete picture.
Yeah, for sure, because
it's either timelines or it's realities. It's like, how my reality was running parallel to yours. Our 2 realities, our 2 timelines, like while we're talking now, our 2 realities are next to each other, and there's similarities between them, but they're completely different because you're in Australia and I'm here, and you're Cam and I'm Richie, so they are different, completely different realities. No matter how they could be the same color, it could be the same thread, the same color thread. Because it's basically the same reality, but they're running together parallel to each other. So there's however many of us there are on this earth, with each of us, if you imagine running out from behind us, this line of reality that is actually, that results. So you've got all this potentiality in front of you that comes down and condenses into the moment that is now, when you make your decision with your free will. As soon as you've made that decision, that creates the fiber, that creates the timeline, right? And so all of us have got these lines running off of us, and we are all together. We're weaving a tapestry. We're weaving a huge picture of the wheel of time That's what we're doing, all of us together. And so these people over here, their reality is totally different to these. These are the gold people that are going to be part of the dress down here, and these people are part of the sky. So their realities are completely different. And you look at us on Earth, it's reflective of our own experiences.
Yeah.
Some of them can be the same, and some are completely different. Some of them are slightly different. You know, there's, what's that? I can't read that.
I
agree with Richie. I agree with Richie. Nice one, man. Yeah, it's just, I don't know, it just made sense. It made sense that's why they were depicting this tapestry, and why they went into so much detail on the fibers, on each fiber of the tapestry, that, you know, they follow them, and then it pans out. It's like a microscopic out to the macro, and you see that it's a picture. It's this beautiful picture. But then you've got, so the women have all the power, and their power is a direct link to the source. Every 10,000 years, the dragon is born, and the dragon can either be good, he can either destroy the world, or he can make the world, like fix it. The last time it happened, the dragon destroyed the world, and he corrupted the source, so that if any man was to touch the source, he'd go mad. And only women had, and so you got these group of women who are like the custodians or whatever. There's the Emmy Singh or something. She's like the head woman, like she's like the queen bee. This one woman who's like the queen bee. And then you've got red, blue, green, and yellow.
Yeah, that's right. They got their factions or whatever.
Yeah, they're factions of women. So the blue women, that what they do is they work in secret, and they're like secret spies out. And what they're trying to do is find out where the dragon is, and if he's been born yet, and who he is. Yeah. And then you've got the red women, who, like the blue women, have warders. They're bonded to a male who is their protector. He's like a knight, in, you know, he's their protector. He's a warrior who protects them when they're doing their magic. He's there fighting off all the, you know, things because when they're doing their magic, they're really vulnerable, and it takes them a while to. They call it channeling. They channel the source, and the source comes in as fine tendrils. It comes in like the, you know, like the tapestry. It comes in like that, and they, you know, they can manipulate it into explosions, or you know, they use it as a kinetic energy against people that are fighting them, obviously, because it's still a dualistic reality that they're in, good against evil, isn't it? It's black against white, light against dark. They're always so that it's always like, yes, it's this side versus this side, and you have, you know, you're either good or you're bad.
Polarity.
There's never polarity, total duality. And so it just constantly reprogramming that into people without explaining that really you got to find that
when
higher
the
ground above it.
It's when two or more fields merge that they make something better, and you know, just like two parents, right? Make something that's part of both of them. All fields do it. That's what the Vesica Pisces is. The two fields merging, and you get the Vesica Pisces, and that's supposed to be the place where, you know, obviously it's the shape, right? That's where creation comes from. Right. So so every time we interact, we create the story.
And they sort of depict it with the fact that the women have a warder. They say the bond between the male and the female is stronger than any other bond, stronger than mother and son, stronger than husband and wife, or father and daughter. It's the strongest bond, but it's like they've got their two roles. The woman is in charge of healing and protecting as well, she's a warrior, she can fight, but she needs the man to protect her as she fights, because she's using energy that we're not using. We're using our physical bodies, we're using brute strength and, you know, kinetic energy, whereas she's using the source, and in order to channel the source, she becomes vulnerable, so she needs to be protected. So that, and it shows the role. There is a masculine role and a feminine role, the divine feminine and the divine masculine working in
unison,
combination, in unison, yeah, in symbiosis, and they're, you know, they're extremely powerful.
So then they create something bigger than both of them separately.
Yeah, well, they can protect, you know, they can obviously because of the way that they like to portray it, it's all battles with, you know, so they're always getting in battles and protecting things and making things explode, and, you know, making the things drop dead and stuff, and turning the arrows around in the sky, making them go back and hit the enemy, and because it's Amazon Prime, man. They want to keep hammering people with this violence. You've got to, the only way out of a bad situation is to be violent. If somebody, you have to fight. You have to fight, and you have to fight to the death. Fight to the death, man. It's them or us.
That's 3D.
Exactly.
You can just keep in 3D. That's like when the two fields combine, the Vesica Pisces and that's the fifth element, right? That's the ether. That's the creative force. That's when you get that extra bit, and you can So exactly right.
I was watching. Do you know Jacob Israel? You heard of him?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Oh, he's brilliant, right? It's always biblical interpretations that he gives. He's always reading from his Bible, but when you listen to his interpretations, they make a lot more sense than anybody else's. He makes it much more, oh, is that what they're saying, kind of thing. And so today he was talking about the Adam and Eve story. He felt compelled to do it because they've flipped the Adam and Eve story with recent advertising campaigns. There's a weed shop selling the Adam and Eve strain, or no, the Genesis 2 strain of weed that they've created. And then there's other places that are using Adam and Eve as a kind of they've twisted it a little bit, twisted the story, made it sexual, made it about weed and stuff. And he was saying that he sort of analyzed Genesis 2, and basically what it says in the scripture is, it basically says that Adam means mankind. Means everyone.
Yeah, a group of people. Yeah.
When they talk about them, Adam was male and female. Adam was androgynous.
And then Eve was split.
Then Eve was taken from the rib and taken out. Eve was taken out of man and made incarnate to be man's companion, right? Well,
we interpret that as like chromosome, like taking out genetic material and creating a female. But yeah, I've heard this as well, that basically we were both sexes, and they split, and so now it's trying to find the twin flame, right?
But I think that's just another Hollywood misdirection. Right? I think if you think about it, we are all androgynous because we've all got a male and female side of the brain. We've got the left and the right. I've just got to answer the door. Hang on a sec. Sorry, he's just knocked on my door.
All right, who we got here? Melissa. Melissa Kalec. Hello. Atomites, yes, the atomites and pre-atomites. Atom equals atom, the beginning. Can a dummy, shouldn't we help each other to survive? I think we should. Hello, lady. Oh, gosh, who was that? Lady Lux. Lady Lux. Good serpent story. Oh, where's the serpent song?
No problem. Okay.
Hope that's not the police. Atom are the atoms of creating human beings. Oh, God.
Right, so
Shane, oh my gosh, look at these.
Anna's been rushed to hospital again, and I'm taking custody of Canito and the cat again.
Ah,
yeah, Anna, the old lady. She's I've kind of been not looking after her, but helping her for the last couple of days. She's not been able to get out of bed. She's been in like enormous amount of pain in her stomach. So I've just been making sure she's got water and stuff, and she's been rushed to hospital today. So that's what
crap.
So I've just got to grab the dog. I'm just going to be 1 second.
Yep.
Right.
All right, I'm gonna have to jump off soon. It's midnight here. I've been going 3 hours.
Well, if you wanna wrap up,
how the hell did it go for 3 hours? How did that happen?
If you want
seriously, how did that happen? Yeah, I think I might. I think I need to go and fall over somewhere.
Yeah.
I just saw Lex.
Well, prayers be with
an email.
your family.
Yes. So what was that? Voice from
all of notes. We
Aren't you
will
asleep?
pray for Richie and his family on this holiday, and that she makes a recovery. My grandma was actually taken to hospital a couple weeks ago with a similar not getting out of bed, not eating, not adjusting, but she's actually since made quite the turnaround, and Grandma Green might looks like she's going to be making it into the new year at least. So
that's cool, man.
All right, sending healing to
you all.
To everyone who needs it. Indeed.
Hopefully it's a short day and she returns to you soon.
Thank you,
she's
Bernie.
not, she's not my nan. Both my nans have passed already. I lost them a few years ago, but she's like my surrogate adopted nan, because she hasn't really got anybody else, and she's she lives just at the end of the road. End of the corridor.
End of the corridor, nice. I was going to say something and I've forgotten completely what it was. So yeah, everyone have a great day. Oh yeah, it's 12:30. That's what I was going to say. I literally just looked at the time 2 minutes ago, and it was like 10 to 12, and 2 minutes later it's 12:30. All right, what do we got here? Stop Red Pill, the Great Awakening.
Stop believing NASA.
Stop believing NASA. All right. I agree with Richie fully. There you go. Richie,
I love you, Bernie, man. Seriously, dude. Hopefully one day we'll be able to.
Happy holidays. I'm signing off till the next one. Sounds like you are as well.
Yep, so we are too.
All
right.
Almost made it to 3 hours live.
Yeah, we almost did. It's 2:57 and 51 seconds. So thanks everyone for joining us. Have a awesome Christmas day. Sleep wherever you are. Have spend it with your time.
Merry Christmas.
Give people your presents. Don't give them presents.
The presents of your presents.
Yes, the present of your presents. Yes. Exactly. So love you all. We'll be back soon to talk. Lots coming up. I'll probably get something together for New Year's, but I don't do anything before then. So yeah, have fun, and we'll talk to you all on the next upload.
Peace.
Bye
I might do a live a bit later.